Hello everybody. How's it going? How are y'all? On this Saturday afternoon. Hope you've all had a good weekend so far. Snoofkin, hello, welcome. Super Strike, glad to see you. Hope everyone's been doing good. I know I have. Legion of followers, welcome, welcome. I am so excited for this trial. Yes, we are indeed danganing our rompas. I cannot wait to get into it. I've tried to been like, I've tried to think a little bit about who I think it was, but we need to conduct the investigation first before I feel comfortable like solidifying an opinion on that, you know? Relaxing day, good. Yeah, it was pretty chill for me too. Did some cleaning, did some general housekeeping things. So, pretty chill. I do enjoy my weekends. Let's see here. Before we hop in, I wanted to do... Where is it? Yes, okay. A little bit of a refresher, so to speak, on... Move that a little more over. There we go. Yep, that looks good. The current state of the tier list. This is the current tier list. We're gonna check it before, and we're gonna check it at the start and end of every stream, and move people around as need be. We've had 2 deaths, unfortunately. Inori and Yamaguchi, unfortunately, have departed. Rest in peace. Which means they're either going to be locked into their position on the tier list, or if we get any, like, characterization of them during the trial, they might move around a little bit. I'm sure somebody's gonna end up moving on this tier list. Probably the culprit, either up or down. Like, for example, Ayame, who was solidly in C tier, was nicked up to B because of her role in the Chapter 2 trial and how well I think she served the narrative. So, something like that will probably occur, but this is the current state of affairs. And I think that's about all the preamble I had. I'll definitely do I'll lock in my 2 culprit picks, after the investigation, when we're, like, standing in the elevator. So, that's when I'll be locking that in. 'Cause I need a little more information. But, yeah. Ashikins, hi! Welcome! Alright. Yeah, no, the names. I'm doing my best here. I know a decent amount of them, but a little bit of a struggle for me. That's not even like a fangin thing. That's just real life. I struggle with names sometimes. But yeah, let me put that up, put that down, and we will hop on into the game. Alright, so we did the Monokuma file. What else do I need to look at? This blood splatter. Huh? What's this blood spot? Right next to me is Yamaguchi, whose blood's all around the library. It's not that strange there could be blood spots in the library after his death, but this blood spot looks a little different. It's the only one away from Yamaguchi's corpse. The blood spot is... Then it's probably either Tsurugi's or the culprits. Hey, Maeda, what are you doing sitting on the floor? But, like, if it was the culprits, then the culprit would obviously be bleeding, and... I'm not gonna pursue that line of thought any further, because I don't like where it takes me. Oh, Kobishikawa, do you know where this bloodstain came from? Oh, right, that's where Kinjo fell. Okay, bless. Okay, good. Good. Love to hear it. Thank you, Haru. This is where you found him? Well, when we entered the library, Yamaguchi was there, as you can see, and Kinjo was lying in that position and unconscious. You didn't know, because you didn't see Kinjo here. That's right, I heard Kinjo was struck in the head and bleeding, but you mean he spilled this much blood? Well, he is in a coma, Yuki. I assume the injury was pretty severe. You thought it was a joke? Otori had to disinfect and bandage him, so it's okay for now. But at first, I thought he really was dead. Kinjo was lying in this position, then I can't imagine Kinjo knocked someone else in the back of the head. When and how did the killer attack Kinjo to stun him? And if it's enough to make you bleed that much, why did they stop with only that? Yamaguchi and Inori were the ones who were killed, even though there was obvious malice behind it. Yeah, I said this last time. I think it was like the culprit did try and kill Kinjo, and they like hit him real hard. He went down, but before they could like make sure he was dead or finish the job, Yamaguchi walked in and was like, stop. And so they fought, and that's how Yamaguchi got killed. And then they had to flee before they could like triple check that Kinjo was actually dead. The fact a blackened can kill up to 2 people, since it was added later as a rule, the culprit wouldn't have known about that. If Kinjo wakes up, I should ask him. Alright. Let's look at the blood trail. But this implies the body was moved, which kind of does go against what I just said. I don't know, but... No, it couldn't have been moved that much. Because then there would be blood, like, all in the hall, and there was just a little bit outside of the library door. It's a huge blood trace from Yamaguchi's body to the library door. Was this all Yamaguchi's blood? There's something wrong with this. It's a terrible amount to look at, but I've seen a situation similar to this. It was dark back then, so I couldn't see well. Tomori shed such a tremendous amount of blood and died. But there's more from Yamaguchi's in terms of quantity, because this blood leads all the way to the corridor. There's also this. In Tomori's case, there were 2 wounds, one on the neck and the other in the stomach. It was also discovered several hours after death, so it was already bleeding. Less than an hour after death, and no matter how deeply you're injured, can this amount of blood come out of your neck? So does that mean... But like I said earlier, it's not like one little blood spurt. It would have to be a heavy injury, and nobody... You couldn't hide an injury like that, and nobody was heavily injured like that. But not only that, the shape of the blood's a little strange. The shape looks like the body of Yamaguchi was brought into the library from outside. I'll check this out a bit. So if that's the case, then they like attacked him just outside the library, and then Yamaguchi might have stumbled into the library? I'm not sure. They couldn't have gone very far, though, because there was only blood here and, like, just outside the library. Huh? When I slightly lifted the body and looked at the floor, if the corpse was brought from outside, there should be no blood under the corpse. But that's what I see here. Blood is also over Yamaguchi's body. Thanks to that, his stomach and chest are wet with blood. I mean, it could maybe still be Kinjo's, but... If someone... Oh, but there was, like... There was a bloody cloth, right? When we found Makaru. So... Okay. There could be a body move happening here. Farther than I think. Because I forgot about that cloth we found in the locker. Shape of the bleeding certainly feels like dragging the corpse. If so, there can be no blood under it. No, before that... If there is blood under the body, it means there was blood here before Yamaguchi fell. Is that right, though? Inori didn't really seem to bleed, then the blood must be Yamaguchi's. I don't really know, but I noticed something strange about the situation with the blood sea in the library and Yamaguchi's body. I'll mark it down and discuss it. Alright. Was I supposed to investigate the door? Because, like, I had an exclamation point on the door. I guess not. Okay. Akane, what's up?
Oh, Mieda.
Akane, what are you doing? Is there something in the hallway?
Well, that's not exactly right. The smell of blood is still there, and as I keep looking at the body, I just get sick of it.
Oh, that. Are you okay? You don't need to overdo it.
Oh, no. Everyone's working hard. I can't be the exception. The class trial will start soon.
It's alright. Then why don't you answer a few questions for me, Akane?
Oh, you want to ask me something?
I don't think she's gonna really know much, because, like, she was pretty catatonic until, like, very recently, but we can ask anyway. I guess we could ask her what her group found. Yeah, when Kurikawa, Uehara, and I went to investigate the 3rd floor. You want to tell me what happened on the 2nd floor? Yeah, good point. She should know. Same time the BDA. Kinjo fainted. It's full of holes that my own eyes didn't see.
Oh, okay. I can help. That's simple enough. But there's not much to tell. We, like you, were shaken when we found the body, and then started investigating.
Okay.
I don't know if this has anything to do with the case, Yuki, but there's something I was a little confused about. Is it okay to say it?
Sure, what's that?
Kanata-chan, you said you found her in the science lab, right? But I stopped by the science lab just before nighttime yesterday, too. However, at that time, the door was locked.
Huh? The door to the science lab was locked?
Yes. Do you think it's related to the case?
If it's true, then the door didn't open even when we found Inori's body. It was blocked with something like a clasp. Even so, she said the door was already closed before nighttime yesterday? I think I'll take it for reference. Thanks, Akane.
Was I helpful? I'm glad then.
Oh, by the way, why did you go to the science lab just before nighttime yesterday?
Oh, that was because last night I did a little bit of mincemeat in it. When I tried to use the scissors on my wrist.
Oh, were those scissors in the science lab?
Yes, I wasn't sane back then, so I went to the science lab to pick up the scissors.
I understand. I get it now. Thanks, Akane. For night, the science lab was already locked. Does that mean, like, Inori's been in there since? Hey Kinji, what's up, King? What do you have to say? Uehara, is your body okay? Don't overdo it so much. No, it's not a deep wound, so don't mind it. By the way, have you seen the cell phone? Oh, they took the phone off him. That's why he got attacked, I presume, but why would they need it? There's no way the phone is what caused the electricity to kill Inori, right? Like, it's a cell phone. Cell phone? You mean Maki's cell phone that you found on the 3rd floor? I thought you were keeping it. Yeah, I always kept it in my top pocket because I didn't know I would need it. But now I realize the phone is gone. It disappeared? When was the last time you had it? It was at least until yesterday night that I recall having it, but after I fainted, it was gone. Then that means the killer probably took it. That is a sinister premonition, but I'd agree. However, the cell phone doesn't seem important right now, because first we have to investigate. Wonder where'd the phone go? Well, I feel like that was important information, but he didn't have an exclamation point. Alright. Can we step in the water now? This might be, like, hazardous. Won't matter if I go in, but Makaro... Okay, we're not gonna go in the water. Hey, incompetent. Get out of the way quickly. You're obstructing traffic. Oh, Makaru, you came, but the water... Are you still talking? Would you get out of the way already? But, Makaru, you said we shouldn't touch the water a while ago. Why are you doing this? And if you're going there, wouldn't it be dangerous? It's fine to enter now, so feel free to go in. I spoke to Monokuma earlier to put the matter away. Put it away? You'll know when you enter the science lab. Still, no one seems to have turned off the faucet. You guys really don't have a clue, do you? You don't even have Tsurugi Kinjo anymore. Put what away? The faucet? For the love of God, would you look directly with your own two eyes and think in your head at least? It would be nice if I could just tell you everything, huh? Jeez. Bless you, thank you. Do I have earrings like the one in my Sprite? I do not have ones exactly like the one that my character has, but I would like them someday. That'd be a cute thing to maybe craft. Well, since Makaru said that, it's now safe to walk in the water. So, let's see what happened. Ooh, a little sound effect. Ah, man. Alright, I guess let's start with this thing? What is this? A wooden stick-like object was floating on the water-filled science lab floor. Okay, so that's what they, like, must have barred the door with, I guess? But how did they do that from the outside? Oh, that's right. When the science lab door didn't open, it was because of this. Then Makaru removed it to open the door. When we found Inori's body, we had a hard time because the door couldn't be opened, but it seems the killer used the object to block it. When I picked it up and checked it close, it was an ordinary wooden stick, but it was really thick, so it'd be natural that the door was blocked with something like this. When I looked at the back of the door, I saw a space where the board could fit in. If it's closed while standing behind the door, then the locked room scenario would be complete. However, what was the reason for the killer to make a locked room? A reason to lock the room. I'll keep it in mind. Alright. Let's look at the file, I guess. The victim is Kanada Inori. The estimated time of death, 8:35. What was Yamaguchi? Was he 8:30? Cause of death is electric shock. Eesh. Burned through. Current for a long time. Man. That's a brutal way to die. Terrible. Not a drop of blood was shed, and yet this is the most terrible thing someone's done to a friend. Doing this to Inori, who's the smallest and weakest among us. The culprit behind this. It's fair to say that we're distressed to have to doubt another friend against our will, but at this moment, the undeniable anger I feel has arisen against the perpetrator, and who I don't know who they are yet. It's different from Yamaguchi. He was presumed to have been killed by his neck with one blow, but Inori's case was just a victim killed in front of everyone with her own eyes. A few minutes ago, with a single wall between the door of the science lab, I heard her scream. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words a little bit just because I'm trying to do my best with the translation here to reword it a little to sound more natural, but sometimes the sentence structure trips me up a little bit. Her pain, her cries, her agony very clearly. I can't help but feel this anger, but it won't make any difference. Since it's just a Monokuma file that gives me information, I'll have to make use of it. But this alone isn't enough information. From what can be deduced as of now is that the time of death was 8:35. She died 5 minutes earlier than Yamaguchi. Around that time, we couldn't open the science lab, and we were just outside of the room, so there's no problem with the time at least. But killing 2 people directly in 5 minutes, I mean, this was very obviously, at least Inori's death was not a direct kill. This was definitely, like, set up remotely. At that time, we were walking between the 2nd and 3rd floors, so if we go back and forth between the areas, you would definitely stand out. Okay, I'm trying to think. If Yamaguchi was killed 5 minutes after Inori, then hypothetically, everybody who was with us discovering Inori couldn't have killed Yamaguchi, right? Because we found her and then the 4 of us were all together. And Yamaguchi, he was probably killed very directly because of the wound. So that puts maybe a little more suspicion on the people in the 2nd floor group. Unless it's like a Kizuna case where he just managed to stay alive for a while. In which case, he could have been wounded before Inori died, but I don't know. I'm still trying to piece this together. How could the killer murder 2 people within only 5 minutes? Alright, I guess let's do the body. Man. Seeing Inori's body sinking in the water, it looked like she was in tears. We're investigating the bodies of some of our dead friends with no time to grieve. However, without an investigation, the killer has to be identified. In order to survive the trial, I have to investigate. For now, I decided to look at the body of Inori based on what was written in the Monokuma file. The body was so terrible that you couldn't even look at it with your eyes open, but for now, all of her clothes and skin were burned. Her whole body was fixed with several layers of box tape, and her hands were tied with ropes and hung from the table. No, I don't think her organs are spilling out. I think that's like the little tie, that she had on the front of her suit. I think. It's a little hard to tell with the pixel art, though. Damn it. I continued to investigate while my swearings reached hollow ears. The tools that were used on Inori. I remember seeing box tape and ropes in the art room. Seems, for whatever reason, the art room's a place related to the incident. Other than that, I can only think of the fact the faucet she's tied to is the same table where there's a lot of miscellaneous tools around. But do they have anything to do with the case? The box tape was tightly attached to her shoulders. 5 layers. Even a strong adult man would be impossible to tear off. And it must have been even harder for Inori, who was small in size, to break out. Was there any reason to tie Inori up to this extent? Just the killer's idea? Would that be it? Looking at it that way, Inori's always been in the infirmary after it opened. Maybe there's a clue in there, too. Alright, Makaru. You didn't follow me, did you? At least you listened. When you came in here, you know now. The reason I told you not to touch the water, and why this place became a pool of water. Yeah, but Makaru, I wanted to ask you something else. Do you think I'll answer? I'm serious, I really do have a question. It was when you were in the art room locker. You asked me to show you my hand as soon as you left the locker, right? Why'd you do that? I won't answer that. However, it's just simple safety. No matter what happens, the only thing that lives on is insurance. It is the minimal precaution that's needed. Insurance? The 2 of us aren't close enough to explain every phrase to you, am I right? Well, don't worry, the psycho cop won't be able to serve you this time, so you should have insurance at least. When you guys feel so clueless you have no other way to go and are on the verge of death, if that aspect shows up in the trial, then I'll show you my trump card. So please, make sure that doesn't happen. Makaru began to investigate Inori's body again, leaving only an empty silence. It's at that moment she wouldn't speak to me anymore. At that time, Makaru had to make sure to give me her At that time, Akaro had to make sure to give her my right hand. I took a look at my right hand, but there wasn't anything there. Is this something only Makaru knows? Alright, we have a controller and a faucet. I guess let's do the controller. Oh, this is the phone. Okay, so they did use the phone. I wouldn't have thought that, like... I wouldn't have thought the phone would have been enough to, like, kill somebody, you know? But maybe. This was Maki's phone? Probably. The phone that Uehara discovered on the first day when the 3rd floor was open. I haven't seen any other phones, so Maki would be the only one left. Why is it in here? I looked at the sides, wondering, but as soon as I saw the screen, I noticed it wasn't in normal condition. What? Why is the screen like this? The phone screen was crumpled with a mixture of purple and pink. The clock was turned into a strange language rather than numbers, and the buttons didn't work properly. To put it simply, it's broken. Well, that's only natural, because it was underwater. I couldn't hide my disappointment, hoping I might have been able to fix the phone and get in touch with the outside world later on. No, right now the class trial should be the main priority. Anyway, does this mean the phone was used as some kind of tool in the incident? Thinking that way, I fiddled with the phone a little more. I noticed a small alarm indicator at the top of the screen. The alarm was set to 8:30, but now it's already off. Who set the alarm? Besides, at 8:30, this was just before we tried to open the science lab door. As I wondered, it's very likely the phone was involved in the incident, because not only that, there's another tool attached to it. A taser. Okay, so they used the... That makes more sense. A taser being the... what could actually kill someone. But... how does a phone alarm going off trigger a taser? I guess I don't know enough about electronics, but... The object connected to the cell phone strap was something I'd seen in cartoons and movies. A taser? I think this was also called a stun gun. Why were these dangerous objects at school? No, it seems like they were in the storage room of the science lab, but that's right. Now I understand what Makaru said. Probably because the stun gun was using its power into the water pit. If it entered in that state, there's a high chance it would have gotten electrocuted, but now it seems it's not working. That was probably because Makaru told Monokuma to put it away. More importantly, is that this is at the crime scene. According to Monokuma file, Inori's death was caused by electrocution, so it's probably definitive this was the murder weapon. But what reason does it have to be connected to the phones? Because when the alarm went off, like, that's what made it go off, I guess. I have to sneeze again. Also, it's not the only weird thing. If you think about it, the weapon was a stun gun. That means the killer struck Inori with it, so they, like, knocked her out with the taser and then used it to, like, kill her, I guess. But then, contradictions show up, like the locked room scenario in the science lab and the crime done to Yamaguchi. No, there's nothing to suggest the killer could only attack their victim directly. Maybe making the science lab full of water like this was to prepare an effective crime scene. If electricity goes off while you're immersed in water, you're in the danger zone. The rest to figure out would be how the killer made the water to be energized and what method they used. I'll have to speak about this with the others. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory to me, but I get it. We gotta figure it out the other way. Alright, let's check out the faucet. This is one of the tables in the science lab. The faucet allows you to throw away medicine or wash your hands during experiments. But now the water's pouring out of the faucet at maximum capacity and it's overflowing. Right, the reason the science lab was flooded like this was because of the faucet. What a waste of water, but now's not the time to think about it. I turned off the faucet and the water stopped flowing. Well, there's no reason for the water to fill anything now. Also, this must have been done by the killer too, but what was the reason? The reason to make the science lab we just talked about it. So that her body they'd kill her, yeah. Alright, let's go. Sorry for party rockin'. Alright, let's go to the art room. Alright, let's see. The wastebasket, okay. Huh? I wonder if there might be something here. I looked at the trash can and was surprised to find something. Thought it was tissue paper, but looking closely, it's more like a type of cloth. I looked at the unidentified piece of cloth from the trash and opened it. A lab coat. Let's see, are these clothes? No, it's not just clothes. This is... no way. So, I guess that's how the killer avoided, like, getting blood on them, but there seems to be a ton of blood on the inside, too, which wouldn't be the case if the killer was wearing it, right? It's what Inori was wearing. When I think about it, Inori's body wasn't wearing... so they knocked her out, took the coat off. Okay. Huh. The locker, it's the same, this white coat. Seems the blood from the coat's been there for some time, since it didn't feel wet at all. The question is, where did the killer use the coat? Inori wasn't bleeding, so it must have been used while killing Yamaguchi? Well, that makes sense, because Inori was probably knocked out and tied up since last night. No, it can't be. It's too dry to be from Yamaguchi's blood. Then who was bleeding? Like, if it wasn't Yamaguchi... like, I know Kinji was bleeding, but that was only a little bit. Like, we would have noticed if his whole body was, like, you know, bleeding like that. I don't get it. A blood-stained... The locker. So much blood, like, everywhere. And plastic wrap with a small hole in the middle? I'm so lost. Like, I'm not completely lost. I, like, kind of have an idea. I have a better idea of what went on than, like, last trial, at least. But there's definitely still stuff I'm not quite able to piece together yet. What is this? The spear thing? Nope, okay. Plaster weapon. Plaster weapon. A spear. So that's the little hole that, like, I guess lines up with the piece of plastic wrap? So was there plastic wrap wrapped around the spear, but since there was a hole in it, when the blood got on the plastic wrap, a little bit went through the hole? But, like, why would you wrap the spear in plastic wrap? I don't quite get it. This is what killed Yamaguchi? Someone used a spear? Okay. I assume plaster has to be, like, a mistranslation, because isn't plaster not very sharp? But I don't know, maybe I'm not a plaster expert. Do I need to check out the locker? Yeah, I figured. The locker, what's in there? Makaru was bound in the bloody locker. She was locked. Yep, I remember this. I still don't know why they would do that, but I really don't know what's going on. What does the blood from the locker suggest? This is also a lot of dried blood. Who was bleed? I guess it could be Kinjo. I did forget about Kinjo for a minute. So, but yeah, like, if he lost that much blood, he'd probably be dead, and also not just have a head wound. No, shush. I guess we also need to check out the infirmary. Are there any other rooms on this floor that I need to... Oops. I wouldn't think so. I guess, yeah, let's go check the infirmary. Wait, what button did I need to press to... whatever. Hey, Pookie. Wasn't it shift, or am I losing my mind? To pull up the, like, exclamation pointies. It's Kinjo who fainted. The others treated him here and put him in the infirmary bed. There's no way Kinjo will die here. When will you wake up? Come on, Pookie, we need you. I don't know. Actually, Pookie might not be the right... Oh, it was shift. Okay, I guess it just wasn't working earlier. I don't know. Pookie might be a little too strong of a word for Tsurugi right now. He's Yuki's Pookie, though. That's what I mean. Yeah. The refrigerator's a place to store Oh. I'm a doofus. Yeah, blood packets. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. I'm surprised we don't have any transfusion packs. Someone used a lot of them. Huh. Okay. Let's use our brains, Yuki. We have a lot of blood that we don't know who it's from. And also, like, there's a lot of missing blood packs. Let's put 2 and 2 together here, King. Alright. Why would they need to take it? Alright. Where else do I need to go? Not there, not there. I already checked in there. I must have missed something on the other floors. None of these rooms. Well, no, it's not telling me to go into any of the other rooms. What am I missing? Let me double check all these rooms. Faucet, yes, yes, yes. Okay, I did all that. Nothing up here. Okay. Let's go back to the art room. Yeah, I did those two things. I did that. Do I need to check this again or something? No. Okay, I think that's that whole floor then. Do I need to talk to Akane again? No. Oh, wait, when did you get in here? Hold on. It says... Oh, okay, I guess I don't need to talk to him, though. Maybe he was there the whole time, and I'm just... Oh, maybe... Did I not check Yamaguchi's body? Is that it? Yamaguchi's corpse. In contrast to his body, it was droopy. His pupils were loose. He felt empty. This is a man's death. I've seen it many times already. Real people dying. Yamaguchi, you're the one who we talked to just yesterday. Yes, let's reminisce on the one plot-relevant moment you had. There's no time to be sad. Even for Yamaguchi, we gotta find out who made him like this. I decided to investigate the body. I felt something hard and cold. According to the Monokuma file, it said he was cut by something sharp. Indeed, there was a terrible wound I could see with my eyes. Yamaguchi's neck was completely cut out from the back of the neck to the front, but it was surprising it wasn't cut completely. Ugh. Barely a piece of flesh was left attached. I put up with the nausea that came and looked at the wound. I heard the injured area is ravenously torn by something like a knife or a tool that's been sharpened, but in Yamaguchi's case, it was cut neatly, like you were cutting paper with a knife. Ugh, I can't look anymore. So terrible. Poor Yamaguchi, spilling that much blood. Like Tamori, huh? As my stomach was churning, I suddenly felt uncomfortable. Surely the blood in the library is no joke. Ran from the corridor to the body of Yamaguchi and was protruding from his body. Oh, hey, Wince. How am I enjoying Danganronpa another? Pretty good. Pretty good. We're on the chapter 3 trial. So, trying to figure out who our double murderer is. But I'm enjoying it. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm gonna sip water. Then the tremendous amount of blood coming from the neck. His time of death was 8:40. Immediate death is certain. Okay. So this does, like, strengthen my, my theory that it was probably not someone in the group who discovered Inori, because Inori screamed at 8:30, and we all ran over, like, pretty immediately, right? So, if they had to kill him in person at 8:40 and we were all together that whole time, then it couldn't have been any of us, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. But why is the blood no longer flowing out from his throat? When I recall Inori, after the heart stops, circulation stops. So, in immediate death, blood should flow even less. But isn't it too early? When I investigated Tamori's corpse, there was a little blood coming out. However, he looked... Wait! But, like, the Monokuma file wouldn't lie. He had to have died at 8:40. Instantly, I guess. But Maybe they just covered his body in the fake blood, but there's so many contradictions right now. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. It's been less than an hour since the blood spilled, but the blood already dried up? I knew something was wrong, but there's no way to think about it anymore, because there wasn't Inori or Kinjo who had professional insight on these moments. Inori can't speak anymore, but Kinjo's still alive. I should ask him if he wakes up. Okay, that has to be everything, right? Yeah. What if it was 8:40 p.m.? That's an interesting idea. But I feel like the Monokuma file would specify. Culprit's still a mystery. Oh my god, Tsurugi! Hello. Hey, what's up? Mieda, are you okay? What about your bandages? It wasn't a light wound from what I heard. Now's not the time to bother about that. Mieda, did a murder happen? Yeah, just a little while ago. Class trial's gonna start soon. I'm glad you woke up. I'm sorry, I don't have time to relax. I have to see the scene of the crime before the trial starts. Mieda, did you do some research? Do you know where the scene is? Yeah, you should start with the library, then the science lab, the art room, and the infirmary. Okay, thanks. Kinjo, wait a minute. What's wrong? I'm sorry, but like I said before, I don't have much time right now. If I go to the trial without knowing what the case is, it's over. I'll talk to you later. He has a point, but I'm trying to ask is related to the investigation. If it's okay, if it's quick, right? So just answer me. How the hell did you pass out? I saw a bloody Yamaguchi. What? I saw blood coming from the library, so I went to investigate. Yamaguchi was collapsed on the floor in blood. No matter how many times I see corpses, I couldn't hide my surprise. Taking that little pause as their chance, someone attacked me from behind. I don't have any memories after that. Okay, so then I was wrong about, like, Tsurugi being the original target. Wait, you're talking yesterday night, right? Yeah. What I mean is, you're telling me Yamaguchi was laying on the floor all bloody since yesterday night? Correct. If you walk around the scene right away, you'll notice it. So Yamaguchi, he's dead, right? Yeah. Not only Yamaguchi, Inori also died. What? Inori too? The culprit in this case isn't a simple person. They're a heinous mind that killed 2 people in a single day. This damn asshole. I'll definitely catch this person and punish them. You should go ahead and do some research for that too. I'll leave now, Mieda. Yeah, we gotta let him cook. Okay, so this does answer some of my questions. He must have been killed last night. And then, so the culprit killed Yamaguchi last night. Knocked out and tied up Inori as well. Like in the science lab. Set the alarm for 8:30 a.m. Killed her this morning completely remotely. Which means nobody really has an alibi. So, what I said about the 4 of us being, like, innocent is completely out the window. Alright, well... not great. Let's go. Hey, you guys! I'm sorry you had to work so hard in your research. However, Mr. Monokuma here is impatient. So, why don't we solve this together? The class trial will begin. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that means I need to make a guess. Oh, man. Tsurugi, I hope you can investigate quick. Man, this is such a little group. Like, I don't know, it's so much smaller than last time. Yeah, Kinjo's awake.
Thank goodness Kinjo woke up, but I can't see him.
It's a matter of language to not have a class trial without properly investigating in his personality. However, it's time for the meeting, but he's late because he wants to investigate as much as possible. Isn't that so? That's like Kinjo indeed. No way, but what if Kinjo's the culprit in the case? Dog.
What is this nonsense deja vu again?
Teruya, are you saying that because he's late? Think about it and tell me. Why not? It could happen, right? I also am wondering, like, 3 different people also said they were sick, like, leading up to the events of the murder. Is that relevant at all to the case? Or, like, I don't know. Oh, no, Kinjo's definitely not the culprit. He's too plot relevant. If he's dying, it's gonna be, like, chapter 5. For sure.
What? Kinjo could be the culprit?
Wouldn't it be more fun then? Psycho cop finally goes to murder with his own hands. Ah ha ha ha! Makaru agrees with my opinion for once, so it wouldn't be strange if the universe explodes.
Strangely, it's more scary when Makaru says it.
What do you enjoy so much about this, Makaru?
Did you forget? In the class trial, you could die. I'd hoped you would change at least a little, but
You're still the same as ever. You and me both, Akane. I'm waiting for her character arc to kick in, but... Because I know the killer and the trick even before going to the trial. All that's left is to watch you shovel their grave, right? See, I do have a problem with characters like this. Like, I had this problem with Kyoko and Sugar Happy Havoc as well, where she, like, basically knew the culprit most of the time and just wouldn't tell anybody. I know it's for plot, but, like, it was kind of annoying. Same thing with Chiaki, but I feel like Chiaki has a little more of an excuse given her, like, role in the game, you know?
Huh? You already know who the killer is?
Who is it? Why should I tell you? Idiots. Don't worry, I'll watch you shoveling and struggling.
I'm not sure if I should say this, but this is the first time I ever thought about wanting to hit a woman this much.
By the way, where's Kinjo? I like to imagine Tsurugi just, like, zooming around trying to investigate as quick as possible. Like, it's making me giggle a little bit. He's late.
All right, have you gathered? Good then, let's get started. As always, take the elevator to go down. The trial's design has been remodeled, so look forward to it.
Oh, wait.
But Kinjo's not here.
Huh? Kinjo's not here? Kinjo-kun was given a time bonus due to his fainting condition. Is what I meant to say, but since he woke up and started investigating the case, it's presumed that he's gonna participate in the class trial. So, that's my mistake. He won't be punished, but I'll bring him in shortly, in supersonic speed! Alright. Hey, what kind of supersonic speed is this? No, it's just when I was about to search for him, he was already at the door. Woohoo! Kinjo-kun sure is obedient. You came and I didn't even need to call you. Shut up and disappear before my eyes already. Kinjo, are you okay? Well, I did as much investigation as possible. Compared to the previous cases, the amount of information is extremely insufficient. But, no, I asked if you were okay since you got hurt. Oh my god, Yuki, just kiss him already. Jeez. Oh, you mean my body? Well, it's fine. I've experienced I've experienced many injuries, even once or twice with a snatcher. Hey, it's been a long time, hasn't it, Kinjo? I didn't expect to see you bleeding and fainting. I think you're forgetting something. I'm a human being too, so I was caught off guard. Why? Did you get a little fed up with us, Kinjo? Clearly, last time you left the dining room, I thought you were breaking our bonds or something like that. Of course I did. That still hasn't changed, but in the conditional situation of the class trial, your charges of being preliminary criminals are revoked for the time being. The criminal analogy is that the more manpower there is, the better. And because a murder has occurred, the rest of the criminals, other than the criminal of this incident, are simply ordinary citizens in this scenario.
Kobishikawa was making a list of swear words to give a double comeback to Kinjo once he woke up.
What? Hey, I never did that. Do whatever you like. This is a temporary truce anyways. After the trial, you'll become preliminary criminals once more. Of course, Akane is an exception. I'm always thinking of you as a semi-criminal, one that committed attempted murder, so don't even think you're innocent in the least. This is such a stupid, dog. She didn't even want to kill her. She literally acted in self-defense. That's crazy work. The crazy guy started having seizures again. Akane, don't bother with that waste of a man says. When Maki died, we were thoroughly fighting with each other. It's a difficult trial, even if we have to work together. Something gave me an odd feeling that this would be even harder than any trial I faced. I mean, yeah, we're trying to solve 2 murders, so that makes sense. That's enough talking. Anyway, we're starting the trial, right? Let's get on with it already. Indeed. The first thing we must do is solve what's in front of us. It's not good for everyone to be on edge this early. Yeah, Makaru and Kinji are right. If we don't pass the trial, we'll all die. Relationships with one another, conflicts with Kinjo. There's many problems ahead. I want to solve them, but first, the biggest one. Let's begin our trial. Alright. Oh, man. Okay, let me grab a sip of water while I think for a moment. I guess I should start by eliminating the people that I'm pretty, very confident it is not. And that's Akane, Tsurugi, and Makaru. I would say these guys have, a 0 to 10% chance of being the culprit. So that leaves 5, and I get to lock in 2. Okay. Let's think through this, right? I feel like, in terms of plot relevance, all 5 of them are decent enough candidates. But, Okay. Man, I don't know, 'cause if the murder happened last night, I don't think anybody has an alibi. Let me look at my bullets. If I can remember how to access my book. Thank you. I guess I should take pictures of them, too. It does just say 8:40. It doesn't say AM or PM. Okay, let's think this through, though, right? Because, there's one thing that's not adding up. There's one thing that's not adding up, right? Well, Okay, right. Like, here's... Okay, there's a lot of things that don't add up. I don't know why Makaru was attacked. I don't know what the deal was with the lab coat or all the fake blood. But... I'm trying to also think why Kinji was attacked, right? It was obviously to get the phone off of him. But he said he had the phone until he was attacked, right? But if Inori was locked in the science lab since last night... Well, I guess... Wait, this might make sense. When did Kinji say he was attacked? Because... if Kinji was attacked last night, then there's not a problem with it. There's only a problem with it if he said he was attacked this morning. You know? I don't remember what he said, though. If he even specified when he was attacked. Because I'm gonna assume he was attacked last night until I have evidence to the contrary. Which means this is not a contradiction. So, in that case... This is gonna sound stupid. I don't think Haru was smart enough to do this. Like, maybe I'm just underestimating him, but I think whoever did this had to have been, like, really clever. So, I kinda wanna rule out Teruya and Haru for that reason. And I know that's, like, not great reasoning, but... I am kinda suspicious of Mikako. I will not lie. She was very relevant this chapter. And that kinda makes me suspicious of her. I could see her doing this, especially after her, like, big development moment. So I think she's gonna be my first guess. And then I have to lock in one more. And honestly, I'm not super confident it's any of the remaining four. Like, she's probably my #1 pick, but I'm also not confident enough for her to be my only pick. So... Man. Yeah, the Yasuhiro defense of he's too stupid. Like, it could all be a ruse, you never know, but I don't see it being either of these two. Which means, for my second lock, it's gonna be one of these two. And I really don't want it to be Kinji! Cause, like, that's my goat. Okay, man. Be on your guard. I'm trying. What do you have to say? I think the number of people's a bit shorter. Yeah. Okay, that's not really helpful. See, between the two of them, my head is a little bit more sus of Kinji. But, like, Kinji didn't even know how to use the phone. How could he have set the alarm? Like, he didn't even know how to turn it on, low-key. Like, how could he have set the alarm? Obviously, he could have been faking it, but that would be, like, a 500 level IQ play here. But I don't know if Satsuki would do this either. My head is telling me Kinjo's a little more suspicious. Just going off of, like, typical DR tropes that this tends to have. But he hasn't done anything this chapter. I can't. My heart can't do it. So, I guess I'm gonna lock Mikako and Satsuki. But, Kinji, grabbing your shoulders. I am choosing to believe in you. Do not make me regret this decision. Alright, let's go. Man, it's such a little group. At least it feels smaller.
Whoa, this is a surprise. Why, you in front of me, bear thing? Didn't you learn in kindergarten to think of the people who'd get off an elevator?
Monokuma's been doing this once or twice already, though. It's hard to react anymore. Why is he not saying anything? Alright, dude, just... let us go to the trial. I know it's gonna take 4 hours anyway. Kurikawa, don't touch it. Huh?
What's wrong, Mikako-chan?
Is it gonna blow up? Was suddenly stunned. At first, she thought Monokuma was pulling a prank, but she noticed the mood was different than usual. And then...
Hiya!
Yeah! Oh, I'm alive! I live! You thought I was dead. Does that mean, like, whoever's controlling Monokuma wasn't there for a minute? But... what the hell are you doing? Are you kidding around?
Don't do that again! All of a sudden, my rack was stuck. I was surprised, too.
What? Okay, sure. That might be a translation. By the way, wasn't Kurikawa's scream cute? Aw, she's just... she is cute. Alright, class trial! Yeah, I know. It's another person who was waiting for this. Anyway... Yes, I have played Danganronpa before. Extreme life or death trial! Man, Inori. Ooh, funky. Okay. We vibing. Killed with a neck wound so severe as amputated. Yeah, they nearly took his head off. Maybe I can guess the killer by counting the class trial portraits. That's never reliable. Bow, bow. Bow, bow. Bow, bow. If we go off the class trial portraits, the people on the first page would be the most suspicious. But I'm not going off of that, I'm kidding. Alright, let's save. I already looked at my bullets, so I think we're good to go. Now then, let's begin with a brief explanation of the class trial. Yeah, you'll know how this goes. Yes, thank you for the translation, otherwise I would not be able to play this. Alright. You know, this is a little awkward, but can Kinjo lead again? I do wish the trials were voice acted, but you know, I get it. At the time, would have been tough, and it also probably would not have been in English, so I could keep you updated with my reasoning, but unfortunately I won't be very helpful this time either. I investigated in a hurry, but I don't know the details of the case, and there's several parts I couldn't investigate. 'Cause you got beaten and knocked out by the killer, right? Makaru, you cannot make fun of him. You also got, like, tied up by the killer. My guess is the reason Makaru wants to check people's hands is maybe, like, as she was being abducted, she, like, scratched or somehow otherwise wounded their hand, and that's how she would know who attacked her.
Now, it'll be fine. If you keep talking, we'll reach an answer, right? When you start discussing, Kinjo might find something out too.
I hope so. Then let's do it as far as we can. This case has been very different than the others. Unlike Maki or Tamori, who died suddenly when we couldn't see them, the murder took place right in front of us. Yeah, that too. We know because 2 people were killed on different floors. I think the people on each other's floors will have different information. That was when Kinjo fainted at the time.
Then it's best to listen to everyone as much as possible. We'll begin a summary of the case. Satsuki will help too.
The people who surveyed the 2nd floor and the people who checked the 3rd floor were different, so we have to gather information. Yeah. First, before the BDA rang this morning, Maeda, Akane, Irinami, Atori, and I were waiting for everyone to gather at the restaurant.
After 1 hour, Mikako-chan arrived, but the rest weren't coming at all, so we felt something was wrong and decided to find Kanata-chan and Yamaguchi-kun.
Then, on the 2nd floor, we found Uehara fainted, and unfortunately, he was able to come to his senses. But right after that, on the 3rd floor, there was a strange sound that went wild. So, we decided to act in 2 groups, the 2nd floor investigation group and the 3rd one. Kurikawa, Uehara, and me on the 3rd floor, and as for the 2nd one, it was Akane, Kobishikawa, Atori, and Irinami who took it over. Alright, so you're saying the viewpoints diverge from there, is that right? In my case, I heard a rough story from the others in charge of the 2nd floor investigation, but there's probably many others who don't know about it yet. Shall Maeda, Kurikawa, and me talk about the 3rd floor first? We went up to a 3rd floor, then each of us decided to check a room. Maeda went to the art room, the epicenter of the strange sounds. I checked the science lab, and Kurikawa decided to check the rest of the rooms. The empty classrooms and casino. There was nothing wrong. Like Uehara said, I headed to the art room, where I was able to confirm the identity of the strange noise. Yeah, that was Mikaru. Inside the art room locker was Mikaru, with her mouth taped shut. Her limbs were bloody, and she was kicking the locker door to try to open it. That was what the roaring sound was. Mikaru was trapped?
And bloody too?
Wait, she wasn't in a position to talk to the others either? This incompetent child. I won't let this go so easily. Why me? I was just trying to organize the case. Maeda went to the art room and came along with Mikaru, and I wondered how he found her. She must have been trapped. Well, at that time, the situation was so urgent there were some things that couldn't be explained properly. But why was Mikaru found like that? Why, you ask? I was taken off guard by the killer.
You also say you were taken off guard.
Don't worry. Unlike the cop over there, I didn't give a damn.
Huh? What do you mean?
Don't mind and continue the discussion. I'll tell you after I watch you guys shovel some more. You really are a piece of... Isn't there any cooperativeness in here anymore? Ignore Mikaru and keep talking. Even if you don't know, I have to reason based on what I've heard just now. Yeah, then I'll continue. After taking Mikaru out, we came through the corridor. Then Kurikawa and Uehara called out, mentioning the science lab door wasn't opening. As I said earlier, I went to investigate the science lab, but the door was tightly closed and couldn't be opened. In my attempt, I tried to force it open, but it was no use. The effort didn't seem to be any good at all. So, Kurikawa joined, who came from investigating the other places. Yeah, there was even a scream coming out of the science lab. The 4 of us who were on the 3rd floor all focused on opening the door, and finally we succeeded in opening it.
Was Kanata-chan dead?
Shortly after, the body discovery announcement came off. Everyone knows by now from seeing Inori's body, but it was so horrible that she was shocked to death and couldn't even move. But the crime didn't end there. Yeah, it came on again. Another BDA. That's Yamaguchi's BDA that we found in the library, right? In order to see what transpired, we went to the 2nd floor and joined you guys. We also checked Yamaguchi's body. That's all for our report from the 3rd floor.
As for us, who checked the 2nd floor, we're no different. Each of the 4 of us were set to investigate a classroom, and I, who went to the library, found Yamaguchi-kun and Kinjo-kun. And then the rest of the guys discovered the corpse one after another. Then the BDA rang.
So, roughly, that's how the case played out? Yeah, at first glance, it's like a murder case. That 2 people died overnight, and we found them one after the other, but the biggest problem with the case is the killing was this morning, the same day. They went to the same areas as us, even the same hour, and committed a murder.
Is that, you mean the estimated time of death in the Monokuma file?
That's right. According to the Monokuma file, Yamaguchi and Inori died at the time we were investigating the 2nd and 3rd floors. Yeah, that's our misconception. Yamaguchi died last night, and Inori's death was remote. So, no one really has an alibi. That's not the only thing weird, right? When the science lab door was closed, we heard Inori scream clearly within the door. But when we opened the door, there was no one inside.
Now, wait a minute. That's the same for us. The place where Yohara-kun was found. It was near the near the stairs of the 2nd floor. To get out of the library after killing Yamaguchi-kun, you must have passed through there, so you couldn't have missed them.
When you went to search the library, did you go right away after breaking with the others who went to the 3rd floor?
Yes, when I went to the library, Yamaguchi-kun was already dead. If the culprit killed him in the library, I couldn't have missed that. And even if we say they secretly came out, Kanata-chan was killed too. To go to the 3rd floor, they would have had to pass Mieda, right? All these things don't make any sense.
I didn't ask that far. Don't jump ahead.
Huh? Oh, yes, sorry.
What are you sorry for? You don't have to apologize to that guy. Period. True. That's how Kinjo is. He doesn't like Akane anyway, so don't worry. Everyone else isn't thinking badly of you, okay?
Oh, no, it's alright, Kabishikawa-kun. No matter what the others say, it's true that I stabbed Kizuna-chan. And it's true Ayame-chan died because of me.
Girl, no!
I don't deserve to say anything else.
If you know that, then let's continue. I also don't want to waste my time talking about bitter stuff, even in class trials. So then, the biggest issue right now is how'd they go back and forth without any of us noticing in that short time. Yeah, Inori and Yamaguchi, it couldn't have been... Yeah, I think I know the contradiction. Stun gun, science lab, flood, and oh, none of these are gonna help with what I thought it was, so maybe the flood? I need to turn off sticky keys. Hold on. How do I thought they can't be already off. There we go. Okay. Okay, sticky keys revoked. Do we know what killed Inori? That would have been the stun gun, yeah? Okay. That's true. Wrong, wrong. Bam. "75% accuracy. I hit that right in the middle." Whatever. No, the weapon that killed Inori was definitely a stun gun. May not have been a direct hit from the stun gun, though. It wasn't a direct hit, but the weapon was a stun gun? Are you saying some kind of ghost did it then? Have you all been to the science lab at least once? Wasn't that scene of water enough to overflow the corridor? At first, I was wondering why they needed to do that. In fact, the science lab was turned into a sea of water, Inori was electrocuted, and what was the cause to make that happen?
Ah! If you let Kanata-chan submerge in the water, then drop the stun gun, you can cause an electric shock without touching the stun gun directly.
Wait a moment. The stun gun itself is just a suppression tool. It doesn't come out with enough voltage to kill people instantly. Of course, that also depends on the device. However, if you allow water to pass in electricity, it would be enough for a person to pass through their body. Yeah, if that were the case, Wouldn't the killer be able to electrocute indirectly with water, even if they didn't use the stun gun with their hands? No! Haru! What's up? No, no way, Mieda. Your reasoning has a bunch of flaws. What's wrong all of a sudden, Kobishikawa? Listen, I tried to reason with my head wrapped around the crime for a while, but the logic is so wrong, it just doesn't fit. I've always been beaten by you, but today I won't lose. You're arguing for such a useless reason? Useless? You say it's useless? Fine then, Mieda. Unfortunately for you, I found out what's wrong with your reasoning. Now then, this is my chance to point out your mistake. It's okay, I know how to play this one. Broken phone, Inori's body, bloody white coat. It's probably not the coat. Let's assume the stun gun was submerged. Sure, you can electrocute without touching the body. But in order to get it into the water, someone should be in the science lab. After all, it doesn't change. No, not necessarily. If you only submerge the stun gun, you can operate it remotely. Okay, we're gonna probably say you use the phone to set it off remotely. That's impossible. The stun gun moved on its own. A tool that literally moves on its own. The stun gun fell into the water itself? That can't exist. Okay, I think this might just be a translation thing. I think I'm supposed to use the phone on the fact it operates. I think by moved on its own, they mean operates remotely. I think that's what they're trying to say. Alright, cool. We're doing great. Kobishikawa, maybe there might be one. The tool that moves on its own. I assume when they say moves by itself, they mean a tool you can operate remotely. Moved on its own, at least in English, like, to me at least, means, like, physically moves on its own. But I think what they're trying to say is a tool that operates remotely. What? In fact, the science lab stun gun wasn't just dropped there. Next to it, a mobile phone was connected with a strap. The sail phone? You mean the one Uehara discovered? Yeah, that's right. Maki's phone. It was the one that disappeared, and you said it was there?
Also, you said it was a self-moving tool. Why does the cell phone matter?
Actually, it matters if it has... Oh, okay, so they did mean, like, it physically moved. Okay. So, they had it vibrate, and I guess vibrate off the table, is what they're trying to say? Okay, this makes a little more sense than, like, what I was thinking, where they somehow rigged the phone up to set off the taser when the alarm went off.
So, you connected the strap to the phone?
Huh? Why is the alarm function... He does not know technology. Am I the only one who doesn't understand? See, this is why I unless he's lying, which he could be, but I have no reason right now to believe that he's lying. He doesn't know how this stuff works. Like, it at least makes him less suspicious.
Huh? Oh, Uehara. A vibration alarm function. You don't know what that is? Oh, right. Uehara lived in the mountains, so you don't know the achievements of society, right? Let civilized people tell you the truth.
I did not live in the mountains. Yohara, what I want to explain was they drowned the stun gun using the phone's alarm function. The phone and the stun gun were connected by the strap, so yeah, I got it. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. I follow you. I see. I understand now. So the stun gun that was connected to the cell phone fell along with it. What do you think, Kobashikawa? With this, it is possible that they electrocuted Inori without anyone in the lab, right? Ugh, yeah, I lost. I didn't want to lose this time, but I lost to Mieda again. People like Kinjo don't know. Mieda will be able to win. Is it a problem to win and lose now? Take it seriously. This is a class trial. I know that, but who know about this? I only argued because I thought my reasoning was better than Mieda's. It's fine, don't fight. Now, we have to focus on revealing the culprit's crimes first. Why am I mediating now?
So, Kanata-chan was electrocuted remotely using a cell phone in the flood, right?
Say, you found the phone as an alarm function. Even if it's like that phone these days, it looks like an old 2G phone. My question is, would it be waterproof?
Waterproof?
The fact the stun gun fell into the water means the cell phone was connected to it also dropped. Our cell phones would probably break because of the water. No, rather the cell phone was floating on the floor of the science lab, and it was in a broken state. The time displayed was strange. Yeah, it was broken. I got it, don't you worry.
So, you can't use the other functions again? That's a little disappointing. Even if it's out of signal, it was still a mobile phone that could have had a clue in the future.
Hey, aren't you guys going down that road too much? If the problem's sorted, let's move to the next step of Inori's we still get to hear a lot more from this case. Oh, right. So, as long as the killer could have done a remote killing, they don't have to run directly between the second and third floors. I see. If you set it up in advance, the rest just needed Tamori tied up so she couldn't move from the spot. They might have used a lot of tape for that purpose. It seems so, but if that's true, what happened to Yamaguchi? Huh? Is there something amiss? The culprit did the kill themselves.
Wait a second. Even if Kanata-chan's clear, is it the same with Yamaguchi-kun? When I discovered him in the library, there was only Kinjo who fell down.
If Akane's words are true, it would certainly be impossible to get out of the library without being noticed. The time of death was 8:40. Wow, that is the complete wrong voice. I'm sorry, Haru. The time of death was 8:40 in the first place, and it's impossible for any of us to kill at that time.
Mieda-kun, Yohara-kun, and Mikako-chan went to the third floor, so it's impossible.
Unfortunately, none of us are gonna have alibis because he was definitely killed last night.
Satsuki-chan, Kobashikawa-kun, Utari-kun, and I confirmed each other on the second floor, so it's all too far-fetched.
And Kinjo and Makaru were in the state of being beaten by the killer, right? Then who is the killer? A ghost? No, wait, wouldn't it be possible for him? You, Kinjo?
Kinjo? But Kinjo-kun was hit by the killer in the head, right?
No, I feel bad for Kinjo, but think of it in terms of elimination. Kinjo and Makaru are the only ones with no alibi at the time of the crime.
Then Makaru's a suspect too?
They were in the she was in the art room though. It's too far from there. But Kinjo was found right in the library where Yamaguchi died. So you're saying that him being knocked out was a self-made play? But even then, I saw the wound was quite severe to be self-play, and I tried to heal it. Wasn't that prepared? If you're guilty in the first place, you get executed and die, but it's about hurting yourself. I mean, we can't rule out any injured parties, because they very clearly established last case people are willing to injure themselves to cover their crimes. Isn't it possible for the criminal to get out of it simply by faking being a victim? Okay, so you all consider me to be the culprit?
That's...
Do you really think I did the murder? No, because you're too plot relevant, and we're also accusing you way too early. If you say that, it sounds like an excuse. If you're not the culprit, why don't you refute it logically? Isn't that your specialty? Because I really was fainted, I was lacking information. I'm not able to refute something that you think is reasonable.
What? This is maybe... Kinjo, are you admitting your defeat?
I'll ask for this for confirmation. Yamaguchi's time of death is 8:40. It was written in the Monokuma file, so it's accurate. And as soon as you went up to the second floor and scattered for the investigation, Yamaguchi was already dead in the library?
Yes, I guarantee this.
You know, if you can't refute it, you'll confess you're the culprit, right? Kinjo, is he really the culprit? A person of justice, or a character who doesn't forgive criminals? I have to leave this to emotion. We get it, Yuki! You don't want to accuse your BF. I get it. And look at things objectively. Is it true only Kinjo and Makaru are without alibis and could have committed the crime? But I should think about it more. It's possible we concluded this way too early. Oh! New track? Boom, 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 boom. Okay. The plaster weapon, probably not. It could be the library bloodbath. I gotta look at what Akane said too, though. I was knocked out by the killer. Okay, Akane said the science lab was locked, but that's not really what we're talking about right now. He killed Yamaguchi in the library on the spot. It's probably because the blood stain's, like, under him, right? The wound was real. No, I don't think he is. Brother, open your... I guess he can't be like, I saw him dead yesterday, because at this point no one's gonna believe him. But... okay, yeah, I know what I gotta do. Yes, this is true. It's this next one. Go. I'm locked in. Koishikawa, we are really ganging up on Haru this chapter. Wait a minute, is that really true? You're asking if it's true? What do you mean? Koishikawa just said it. He killed Yamaguchi in the library on the spot. That conclusion may have been wrong. What do you mean? It's the same logic in Maki's case. There's no guarantee the murder took place where the body was found.
Huh? Then you mean he wasn't killed in the library?
I think that's more likely, because of the bloodstains where they were dragged from the outside. If Yamaguchi was really dead in the library at the start of the day, it'd be an impossible crime. Then, where was it? Where did Yamaguchi die? I'm not really sure. Maybe it was the art room?
The art room? That's so far away!
The main stage of this case is likely to be the science lab in the library. In fact, it might not be an exaggeration to say the art room is more important than these two. The reason the art room's important... yeah, the spear was in there. There was some plaster weapons in the art room. It's made of stone, but if you cut its edge fairly sharply enough and swing it as a weapon, it easily becomes a spear that you can really cut.
No way! The spear made of stone was the thing that killed Yamaguchi-kun?
It probably is, because one of the plaster weapons had a blood spot. Wait a sec. Yamaguchi died in the art room, but he was there? Isn't it a bit hard to say he died there? He could have been killed in the library and maybe put back in that place for a while, right? That's not possible. There was plastic wrap with blood in the trash can from the art room. A plastic wrap? Kinjo found it too. You didn't have much time to investigate it. That's right, so I didn't realize the plaster weapon had blood on it. I just listened to Maeda's theory and found out its connection. Then how was the plastic wrap used? As Maeda said, there's blood on the plaster weapon, there's a high chance the murder weapon is also this. The Monokuma file also said something sharp. If so, the killer would have killed Yamaguchi with wrap around the blade of the shedding.
Hey, you said the wrap was covered in blood, right? I mean, is that a tool to prevent blood from getting on the weapon?
I realize that, but isn't there something odd? They used a wrap to keep blood from getting onto it, but Maeda said the plaster weapon had blood on it. Isn't that contradictory? Did I not mention it? It wasn't just spread, it was faintly spread. That wasn't an ordinary blood mark. It was an oval, round blood mark, about the size of a nail.
Oh, how could blood be like that?
I see. I understand after listening to Maeda. It was a simple accident to get the blood on the plaster weapon.
An accident?
I don't know how many people have gone through the trash can of the art room, but if you've seen the plastic wrap, you'll know. In the wrap, there was blood all over, except on this one round hole.
Oh, I see.
If the original intention of the criminal, a blood spot shouldn't have been rubbed on the weapon. But somehow, part of the wrap was torn. That's why there was a blood stain.
Aha! Then as these two said, the culprit killed Yamaguchi in the art room with the weapon that was in the art room. And then the evidence was put in the trash bin. That's great! These are excellent detectives!
Wait a minute. Wait. Haru? I don't like how outspoken Haru has been this trial about, like, trying to argue with us. I don't like that at all, actually. By bringing the wrap to the library, doing the killing and disposing of the evidence in the art room. Of course, you'd see it that way, but it wasn't a wrap that was in the art room's trash. Maeda, if you found the wrap, you must have seen that thing too, the lab coat. Or Inori's coat, I suppose. Yeah. There. Kinjo, you mean Inori's white coat? Indeed, Inori's white coat with a lot of blood. As a result, Inori's body was not wearing a white coat. Why was the coat in such a place?
Wait a minute, Kanata-chan she died in a terrible manner, but she didn't bleed at all. But there's blood on it.
I don't know why Inori's white coat was in the art room, but one thing is certain. The killer used the white coat to wipe the blood off. Wipe it off? But isn't it still there? You could tell just by looking at the shape of the blood. In all likelihood, it's a blood stain that seems to have been rubbed with blood at some point. You can see it was used to destroy the evidence.
Well, but it was Yamaguchi who shed blood, right? Why do you say they wiped the blood off?
It's the art room itself. The art room had traces of blood on the floor. Okay, so they killed him in the art room. They somehow stemmed the bleeding enough, I assume using the coat, to like clean the blood and get him down to the library. And then they got blood packets from the infirmary to like smear blood all over the library to make it look like he shed more blood in there than he actually did, I guess. That's what I'm thinking, at least. I still don't know how Makaru's abduction ties into all of this, though. Like, Kinji knocked out for the phone, Tsurugi knocked out because he, like, stumbled on the crime scene, but I don't know why Makaru was tied up. There were traces of blood left. As Kurikawa mentions, there's traces of blood wiped on the floor of the art room. I even checked with the smell, so I'm sure. I see. I didn't know about that, but there was blood on the floor. If that's the case, it proves they wiped the blood with the coat. Blood splattered on the floor of the art room. Someone mentioned this before, only Yamaguchi shed blood. Then, by process of elimination, it means the blood splattered in the art room is...
And Yamaguchi-kun died in the art room.
Indeed, that'd be good enough of a reason that we didn't find these on the second floor. That's Kinjo, after all. Even if we investigate for a few minutes, he will remain to solve all the cases. I can only put my reasoning up to this point. Even if Yamaguchi died in the art room, the mystery still remains unsolved. What? What mystery? No matter where the body died, what you saw with your own eyes was Kakaru Yamaguchi's body, who died in the library. Then, the corpse must have been moved by the killer, which in turn means they somehow moved from the art room to the library.
Oh, that's a surprise. Makaru helping us.
How frustrating this is. Anyway, think carefully. The time of death of Kakaru Yamaguchi, and the time until you found the body. Alright. Oh, spell bullet scan. Oh no, is this the, like, absorb statement thing? Okay. X or escape. Scanning a bullet. Aw, man. I don't... Okay. I don't really know what that means, but... What do you gotta say? Place where Yamaguchi died is the art room. This is true. Based Kinji, as always. There's no sign of anyone on the 3rd floor. Yeah. All that's written in the Monokuma file is true. Well, yes. Day or night. Yeah, that's what we need. But I'm not... Okay. I need to prove... Okay, I think I need to absorb day or night, and then go back and shoot Tsurugi's statement. Oops. Okay. Yeah, they didn't say, Give it to me. No! I'm holding X! Was that not the control? Oh, there we go. Okay. Fire. Alright. Great. Awesome. It is unfortunate they're giving me that mechanic, though, because, that mechanic is difficult. Day and night? Day and night? Guys, wait a second. Wait, there's something that's bothering me.
What's wrong, Mieda-kun?
Does anyone have Yamaguchi's Monokuma file? I brought it the last time I checked. Why? Did you think of anything? Kinjo, read what was written on the Monokuma file, without any mistake. Please. Okay. The estimated time of death of the victim, Kakeru Yamaguchi, is about 8:40. Found in the library, sharply cut from the back neck to uvula. The weapon is presumed to be something sharp. No other visible trauma. Something's weird, isn't it? Something's weird. What is it? In the Monokuma file, it only says the time of death is 8:40, but it doesn't say if it's AM or PM.
Yeah, huh?
It's better than the police, am I right? It was like that?
I don't understand what they're talking about. Teruya and Kobuzing too. Explain it to us.
What? Hey, why'd you mention me and make me a fool?
Do you understand then?
Please explain, Mieda. Okay, think for a moment. In the Monokuma file we've seen so far, it clearly indicated whether it was in the morning or afternoon. First victim is Kyoko Maki, 6 a.m. Kizuna, 9:30. Oh, it really is. AM or PM aren't written in the Monokuma files. It was a blind spot. I'm sure the Monokuma file always says the truth, but it's not being mistaken. It rather was us. It's not 8:40 a.m. The real time of the incident took place the night before, at 8:40 p.m.
Then Yamaguchi-kun, you're saying he was already dead since last night when we were walking around?
Wait a minute, aren't we jumping too fast here? Just because it doesn't say whether it was morning or night, that's not enough to conclude he died the night before. Maybe Monokuma forgot and missed it in the first place. No, it's not a jump nor a leap. Rather, this case cannot be solved unless it's this way. At first, I was knocked out, so I thought I was lacking information, but considering the premise of 8:40 p.m., now the back and the front have started to fit. Still... Or do you want to ask Monokuma then?
Huh?
Until now, the Monokuma files always recorded the time of death as the morning or afternoon. But is there any reason for omitting this point only on this occasion?
Well, that's... No comment! If you ask me that, I will be the one on trial. I've said again and again, I've decided not to mess with the trial. That's a big no!
The Monokuma file always gives us only the right information. And based on it, helpful for reasoning, it's a kind of service system. But now, because of the Monokuma file, it's causing confusion and misinformation. It becomes a useless debate. I think this is a problem, Monokuma.
A problem? That... I can't help you now. It's not saying anything wrong. I just can't tell you. I'm pretty sure this is it, but Monokuma files always and only tell the truth. But some may have felt it through this incident so far, right? According to the content of each case, the description of that content is adjusted accordingly and properly orchestrated.
It was orchestrated?
In simpler terms, it's like this. For example, let's say the killer wants to implement a whole body trick for that purpose. In that case, in the Monokuma file, it would be, it was drunk with XXX.
Indeed, it's a delicate system that makes me sick.
That's it. The Monokuma file is only a tool that helps in the investigation, not a tool to tell the truth. Because then, you guys will pay the price.
Seems you wouldn't... Oh, didn't mean to... Oh well, sorry. That's why the timelines were subtracted from the Monokuma file. Very strange, isn't it?
What's that? I can't hear you. I don't know anything. La 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 la.
It was bound to happen. In fact, because of this time trick, almost got us very badly. We were distracted wrong at those moments. No, it certainly looks that way. But are we really sure? Without certain evidence, it could just be an inference based on Monokuma's words and circumstances. Why are you so negative? Did someone stab you? It's not like that. I just wanted to be sure. Sure, it's not like we don't understand it. Well, if that's the case, I'll be sure to submit evidence, as Haruhiko said. Shall we try it? You have evidence? Yeah. Before, I used to think about whether this was done in the morning or at night, but I knew the timeline trick, and there's some solid evidence to support that claim. Questions I felt during the investigation. I could feel it while I was examining Yamaguchi's body. If he was dead for a day, the cause of the questions is understandable. Why his bleeding stopped, I presume? Yeah. The proof is simple. Yamaguchi's wound was not bleeding.
Huh? That's not it, is it? It's 'cause the library was a bloodbath.
That's obvious. That is the case, but anyone who examined the body in detail could have felt a sense of something misplaced. That blood is recent in contrast to the library. Yamaguchi himself, though, didn't have a single drop of blood coming out of the neck cut. You saw that? I didn't really check the body in detail. Definitely. It felt strange, too. When I heard about Yamaguchi's time of death and thought about it again, if things connected in some way. Then let's sort this out. The blood was far gone, is what it means? It's been some time since he died, so the blood had already stopped?
Oh, I see. It supports the idea that Yamaguchi-kun was already dead yesterday evening.
Wait a minute, please. Sure, that may be true, but what happened to the blood in the library? That blood wasn't dry, and it was just flowing. The blood in the library is a diversion for the criminal to make us think Yamaguchi had just died. Yeah, they used the blood packs. The blood that filled the library. That was near the end. Missing blood packs. You know there's a refrigerator in the infirmary that keeps blood transfusion packs?
Oh, it was for storage of the transfusion packs. I think I brought one for an injured man to drink when he was thirsty.
What? No. Inside there's a lot of transfusion packs for each blood type. I found that out during my investigation this morning, that the blood transfusion packs inside were gone. I didn't know, because I couldn't go to the infirmary. As Maeda said, the blood in the library. It was a pool of blood made by transfusion packs. It was a room of lies. This really is just a combo of Trigger Happy Havoc and Danganronpa 2's third cases.
It was like that. It was a little weird when you think about it. I think I saw too much blood.
In the beginning, Yamaguchi must have been killed in the art room, but it's also strange there was so much blood in the library. It can be said they disguised him a bit too much. From there, when it comes to time of death, I have a guess. Maeda, do you remember? When the trial was about to begin, we met in the hallway of the second floor, when I just woke up. Oh, are you talking about that time? Yeah, I definitely told Maeda about this. Right before being stunned by the killer, I saw Yamaguchi bleeding and fainted. What? Wait, obviously Kinjo was attacked, but... Of course, it was at nighttime yesterday.
Then Yamaguchi-kun was...
Monokuma files, some bleed-in blood transfusion packs, and what Kinjo mentioned? I can only say if the evidence comes one after another up to this point, then we can make sure of things properly. Alright then, now everyone knows for sure. Kakaru Yamaguchi was not dead at 8:40 this morning, but 8:40 p.m. last night. So that's how it happened. Pretty good, incompetent. I'll praise you on this one. I mean, you were locked up anyway, so you didn't know that. Shut up. Don't pretend to be all smart-ass. But, oh well, I'll admit it for a little bit. I know the killer, as I said before, but I was not sure about the trick. I'll tell you that my gaze on the incompetent has changed by about 0.1%. That was a compliment, right? I guess all the mysteries have been solved. Because Yamaguchi was already dead yesterday. The trick for Inori was solved too. That also includes the movement of the blood spots, and the corpses all over the place were indeed solved too. Yeah, this is pretty quick for... We've kind of solved a lot already. However, the real issue begins after this. Who is the killer? That is the problem we have on our hands. That's... Yeah, it's too early to be happy just yet. Even if we've solved all the tricks, mysteries, and questions, if we don't know the culprit, then this is a bad outcome.
But if the contents so far are true, the criminal deliberately wanted to make 8:40 p.m. and 8:40 a.m. different. The timing was thoroughly calculated for the murder, right? Also, supplying a blood transfusion pack and even having the guts to kill 2 people and attack up to 3 people in a single night.
Yeah, this case is somewhat impulsive and different from the 2 previous cases, which are considered semi-accidents. I'm certain this was a planned murder committed with a crime plan. Kinjo's words are correct. Unlike the previous 2 incidents, I feel a firm malice. Are they really among us? A killer who carefully murdered like this? Yeah, the Chapter 3 murderers are always presented as pretty unsympathetic. Unfortunately. Kinjo, what should we do? If all the tricks are really solved, you only need to find the culprit. You should start with an alibi. Since you know the real time of death of Yamaguchi, you will naturally know who the killer is if you look at each alibi based on this. I didn't think anybody had alibis last night, unless I'm, like, misremembering the events. Tell me what everyone did at 8:40. Oh, was that when Akane was flipping out? Oh, yeah, that. Okay, well that gives alibis to a lot of people then, if that was at 8:40. Oh, then Makako has to be struck from the suspect list, and so does... Oof. Yeah, that knocks out a lot of people, if that was at the time of death. So that leaves... Kurakawa, Tori, and I, Irami... Okay, well, if we're going off of that, that takes out 5 people. But everybody left, like, was attacked at some point. I couldn't have known that was at 8:40, though. Exactly. So the only ones left are the psycho cop, the priest, and me. Oh no. Well, you all got attacked by the killer. There's no way, though, that it's Makaru or Tsurugi. I don't like where this is going. It's still so early, though. It's still really early in the trial, like... Yeah. There is? You're ahead of me, Yuki. I really don't know what's happening. Oh? Somebody lied. Okay, yeah, I need everyone to restate what they were doing, because I can't think of any contradictions between their alibis. It can't be Makaru, because, like, she was tied up. You can't really tie yourself up like that. But there's also no... I don't know. I was in the 3rd floor, hanging out on the casino. Nobody can testify. I was checking the front door. He can't prove it either. Same here. There were no witnesses. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're saying all 3 were able to commit the crime. One of the 3 was not attacked, but pretended to be attacked. Can you tell us the situation where you were attacked at dawn? No! No, this is what I said earlier! Kinji, I need you to say you were attacked last night. Otherwise, the phone thing doesn't make any sense. It was a little over 3 a.m. I was on the way from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor. I went to the library. When I went inside, Yamaguchi was down. But I was trying to approach him.
You were ambushed?
Right, normally I'm not always nervous, but I think I was off guard. Yeah. So, Tsurugi was knocked out at 3 a.m. Since Yamaguchi had been moved... Okay, I get it. In return for keeping me alive, I will find them out and they'll be punished accordingly, sure. It was a similar situation for me, but it was earlier than Kinjo. I was attacked near the stairs trying to go up from the 3rd floor. When? When, though? Like... That's what I need to know, Kinji. Roughly similar, I was attacked near the art room.
It all happened in the middle of the night.
No, even if we are attacked, it's a little different in method. It's definitely not Makaru. And I can't... There's no way it's Kinjo. Oh no. Okay. Makaru wasn't bleeding. Yeah, but she couldn't have tied herself up. Like, that makes her the least suspicious of the three. It's chloroform. Okay. Yes, I know how chloroform works. If you would search the science lab... Yeah, they got it from the lab. But why? Why would they do that? That's what I still don't understand, but... Yeah, why was she ambushed? The killer is a little strange. It wasn't enough to kill 2 people, so they attacked 3 other people. If you put it simply, isn't it because they wandered around at night? If they had some alarm for vibrations prepared, it would be a head- Oh, is it because they didn't want them... No... Oh, I have a guess. I didn't say this because I wasn't sure, but the cell phone that was used to kill Inori disappeared after I was attacked. I mentioned this to you. Yeah. But... Yeah, that's why they attacked Kinji, but... And I know why they attacked Kinjo, too. But... Kinjo's struggling. Seems like I can see the truth. Huh? I've been suspicious of it, but when I think of the information so far, I can see the silhouette of only one person. The killer. This is way too early to, like, actually point out who it is. Like, even Mitch's trial went on longer than this before we pointed out the killer. So, making contradictory statements, that person is the culprit. The alibis are true. The one contradictory I don't think I'm thinking the way the game is thinking right now, because I think Kinji's suspicious because he said the phone was gone, but the room was locked at 8:30, which is before he claimed he was attacked. And they couldn't have gotten, like, back into the room to put the phone there. So, that's why I think he's suspicious, but that hasn't come up at all. But maybe that is what they're referring to. So, I think the game wants me to select Kinji. But it's so soon. Like, unless this is, like, the shortest trial known to man, there's no way it's actually him, right? I'm not saying this, like, to be on copium or anything. I'm saying this because, like, even Mitch's trial, we did not accuse the real culprit until we had solved so much more. So, I think this might be, like, our preliminary suspect. This isn't me being on copium. I'm not saying it's, like, not him, because I have been suspecting him, as you guys have heard. It just feels strange to me. But, okay, sure. Don't tell me. Was it you? Uehara. Kinji Uehara? Huh? What in the blazes? What? We're at the halfway point? Oh no! Oh, he might actually be cooked! That was so quick, though! Oh no, I mean, the fact we're suspending right now does make him immensely more suspicious, but... Oh no! Okay, I'm not, like, 100% convinced yet, but... Man! He was so cool, though! That was my goat! Okay. We're gonna take a break. I need to, like, run to the bathroom and fill my water bottle, and this is a good spot to pause while I process things, but man, Okay, sure, game. I'll walk with you to this pier. Okay, BRB, guys. See you in a second. Okay, dokie. I'm back. I've taken a few breathers. Man, I'm really hoping Kinji beats the blackened allegations, because that felt kind of anticlimactic. But man, why they gotta do my goat like that? Why they gotta do him like that? Not the disrespect of a chapter 3 killer. Man. Ugh. Why'd they gotta do him like that? This sucks. But I must do what I have to do. No, does this mean I have to move him down on the tier list? Oh no, is he gonna have like a chapter 3 crash out? Cause all the chapter 3 killers have like insane crash outs and are like very unsympathetic. Oh no. No, not King Kinji. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We gotta do what must be done. I'm locked in. I'm loaded. Let's go. Kinji Uehara, was it you? Wait a minute, Uehara? This guy? Can you elaborate why it's me? I'm not entirely convinced yet, but according to Kinjo, the killers said contradictory things. That alibi, if you're the one who said contradictions with your words without an alibi, then it's only you, Uehara. Contradictory words? When did Uehara and Kun say those? Do you guys remember what Uehara said moments ago? He said after he was attacked by the criminal in the middle of the night, the cell phone he had before then disappeared. However, this statement doesn't make sense. Man, I said this at the beginning, but I didn't remember when he said he got attacked, so I gave him plausible deniability. But he doesn't have plausible deniability anymore. That doesn't make sense. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not convinced about this, it's just speculation, but I couldn't think of anything else other than this as contradictory words. I'll explain so everyone can understand. First, it was 8:40 p.m. yesterday that the culprit killed Yamaguchi, right? If that's the case, the culprit would have started destroying evidence, such as hiding the spills or wiping up blood. At this point, Inori must have been held in the hands of the culprit as well. Do you guys remember? Inori's white coat was used for wiping the blood of Yamaguchi. Looking at this, it'd be no exaggeration to say Inori and Yamaguchi were both aimed at the same time. I think I was also thrown off because last chapter's trial was so long that the fact this one is more quickly paced is like throwing me off a little bit. Not necessarily a bad thing, just, you know. And everyone knew how Inori died. Inori died from... Yeah, okay, we were on the same page, game. Just by seeing they'd already removed the white coat and used it to wipe Yamaguchi's blood. It was a bold move that was possible because everything was planned and prepared. To summarize, they killed Yamaguchi first with full preparation, brought Inori into the trick just as planned. It has to be said everything was going according to plan. All the preparations were complete since the beginning of the time they were attacked, otherwise they would have gambled on remaining risks. Indeed, after all those preparations. But then what? What's weird about that? Teruya, please! I know you're like one of the standard lower intelligence characters that every Danganronpa game has to have to make the protag look smarter, but bump your brain cells together once or twice. Don't you realize? Uehara said the cell phone was stolen in the middle of the night. Could the perpetrator, who acted so thoroughly and deliberately, carry out such bold actions without the mobile phone in hand? Huh? Wait a minute. Yeah, Akane's statement is proof of that they had to have had the phone before, like, 8:30 when she went to check the lab. As Maeda said, at the time of killing Inori that way and attacking from yesterday at night, it must be said that they already devised a trick using the mobile phone. If they didn't have a cell phone in hand, you would think and act first, then attack Uehara without knowing whether it'll succeed and take the phone. However, the cell phone was in Uehara's possession since he found it. So, how did the killer steal the phone from Uehara? It was either a pre-raid, or it was never done in the first place. The answer to the question's simple. If you were Uehara, you would have been able to execute the plan without any difficulty. Uehara did something like this? You're the culprit who killed Inori and Yamaguchi? Where can I sit? Okay. Huh. Oh no! Oh no, he's gonna crash out! Oh man. Not the chapter 3 crash out. Alright, show me the crazy sprites. Ah, yeah, there it is. What? Hey, what now? What's so funny? No, I apologize, but isn't that a little funny? I'm a murderer who believes in God and tells the teachings of the Father? This is outrageous. So Uehara-kun isn't the killer, is he not? Right? Girl... Of course not. I'm not the culprit. If I say that, would you believe me? Huh? According to your reasoning so far, I'm the only one who meets the conditions of being the culprit. But I can't believe you guys by just saying I'm the culprit in such a situation. Well, I'm 99.99% certain that you are the culprit. No. Then, can I prove myself with the remaining 0.01%? I'm sorry, he's funny! Like... No, King, don't die. Don't be evil, please. I liked you. I said, according to your reasoning. Which means, if your reasoning is wrong, then I won't be the culprit either. Are you saying you have room to argue? Of course. From now on, let me prove my innocence by showing you that your reasoning is wrong. Are you prepared? Alright, lay it on me. The reason you point to me as the culprit is because I don't have an alibi at the time of the crime, and at nighttime, and the contradictory words about the cell phone, correct. Does that mean he was lying the whole time about, like, not knowing how to use a phone? There's nothing I can say about an alibi, but it's nothing but an assertion that you say I'm the culprit with just that. So let me show you why it's not strange at all if I had my phone stolen that night. I assume we're probably gonna use Akane's testimony. No? Okay. Would Yamaguchi really be dead? Yes. Yeah, we know that's right. Whether Yamaguchi were caught at 8:40 means the next morning when we found the body. If I left a body there until then, wouldn't it have been possible to find it? No. The locker... Okay. That's definitely the statement. Let me check my bullets. Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Inspector Gadget. Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Okay, I don't think it's the bloodbath. What was Mikaru's testimony? Okay, I don't think it's that either. Inori's body. It was tied up. What was the last thing? Okay, wait, what's Yuki usually gives me hints. So what he's saying, in other words, if Yamaguchi and someone could have found the body. No matter, the three of them decided not to follow the rules, so they were attacked. At 8:40. Don't think much about the time of death. They could put a body somewhere without being noticed. The locker, maybe? Did they hide the bodies in the locker? Okay. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna try bloody locker on that statement. We're gonna say, I think he might have hid the bodies in the locker, I think is what they're trying to say. Go. Okay, cool. We're party rocking. I mean, no, Kinji! Man. What if I just let Kinji win? Like, I like him more than everyone else here, so. You left the corpse alone? Do you really believe that? Do you have any evidence to deny this? Of course. Remember the locker Makaru was kept inside? Inside that locker was covered in blood. Makaru didn't bleed, so what's the reason for this? As Makaru said earlier, she said the method they used was chloroform, so she didn't bleed from any injury. If that's the case, someone else was in there inside, dropping blood. That's right, Yamaguchi's corpse must have been inside the locker when he died recently. Then the killer stunned Makaru and Kinjo, the only eyes who wandered around at nighttime. I mean, I guess I get it, but at the same time, it feels kind of stupid of him to go out of his way to, like, knock out these two people. Like, I feel like that's a lot of unnecessary risk for what was already set up, kinda. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not putting it together, but...
Then that's it. After attacking Makaru, they moved Yamaguchi's body to the library and put Makaru in his place, right?
To be precise, they struck Makaru ahead of me and stunned her. Then moved the corpse to the library, which caught me off guard. This is the order in which they were attacked. Capturing Inori, killing Yamaguchi, and stunning Makaru. The last step was aimed at me. So, what do you think now? Uehara, the reasoning we have in front of us has fundamentally no issues. No matter what excuses you try to argue, it'll be the same. It's hard to believe it, but if you're the real culprit, don't drag this out and confess. Doubting any more like this is something I don't want to do. As Mieda says, it's totally unbelievable this guy's the culprit. Quiet, devout believer of God becoming a murderer that killed two people? There's no evidence, no excuse for reasoning about his usual actions of being a Christian. We just have to focus on picking out one person who could be seen as the culprit. So then, what are you going to do now? Murderer? Uehara. Yes, I apologize. I was wrong. Are you admitting it? No, I doubted your reasoning. But the time when Yamaguchi died and the time difference trick seems to be all correct.
So, according to that reasoning, Uehara is the only one who remains as the culprit?
Definitely not. Everyone has alibis except for me, Makaru, and Kinjo. But because I'm the one who kept the cell phone, I'm being mistaken for the culprit. What do you mean mistaken? You are the culprit. There's nothing to doubt and you have nothing else to say. Are you still unaware of all the conditions that can be committed when all of them are pointing at you? I'm aware that I'm the only one who meets the criminal's conditions. Among living people, that is. Are you really gonna try and say this was like a suicide? Good sir. What? This guy. How long are you going to force this? What's being forced here is that I'm the culprit. But I'm not. Because you guys are so driven by this, it's no wonder you're trying desperately to get me to accept these charges, aren't you? If that's the case, I'll have to point myself as innocent as the blackened, and everyone will die together. To be stubborn like that. So, you're not the culprit, is that it? You fool! He's trying to trick us like that! We can't be sure of that. I'm not convinced that Yohara's the culprit at all. You guys are stupid. I mean... Where's the lie, though? What? What did you just say? All the evidence points to Kinji as the culprit, and the tricks are undeniable. Why is he still fighting? Is there something to make a conclusive objection? Now, there still remains one path to make you consider me not being the culprit. I hope after hearing this, it will change your mind. Alright, what you got for me, Kinji? I don't want to do this to you, man. I'm sorry. I wish it didn't have to be this way. Okay, there's Akane's testimony. That sticks out to me for sure. There might have been someone who have committed the crime besides me. For example, you think Inori killed Yamaguchi and then, like, killed her? No, but Inori's body was, like, tied up. There's no way she could have done that to herself, so that's probably what we need to contradict. Hello, Sleepy Mushroom. Welcome. Good to see ya. I'm currently accusing my favorite character of murder, so, you know, things are going great. I'm having a great time. Danganronpa. Why do you do this to me? It's not possible because her body was, like, super tied up and there's no way she could have done that. That's not true, but I don't think that's what we need to counter. This is... Come on, give it to me, give it to me. No, I guess. I guess we're gonna try that. That might be wrong. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't right. But I think my logic is right. Let me see what Yuki has to say. He usually gives me a hint. I think my logic is right, that she couldn't have tied herself up. It was Inori who had disappeared. Oh! Oh, I see. We do need to use Akane's testimony, because she said she went to the lab at 8:30 and it was already locked, and Yamaguchi died at 8:40. Okay, okay, I follow you, game. I'm not wrong, but I wasn't following what the game was thinking. Okay. I think I got it. No, no, no. Give me Akane's testimony. Thank you. Go. What? Really? I cannot lose here. I've been doing so well. Okay, I need to think. What? Okay, I gotta think this through. I'm not wrong. I feel like everything I've said has been a good argument so far. What is it trying to do? I'm looking at my bullets right now. She couldn't have killed him at 8:40 though. I think I'm on the right track when I'm saying it's Akane's testimony. Maybe the statement is wrong. Okay, we're gonna go through it again. And I'm gonna keep it on Akane's testimony because I think that's the bullet. Since there's no statements that seem to directly, like, attack or contradict the fact that she was tied up. I must just be on the wrong statement. Okay, let's think about this, right? See, I think I should be allowed to counter that, but apparently that's wrong. Okay, I think that's okay. I think that's okay? Maybe it's this one? Shoot, shoot, fire, fire, fire! Why can I not press these buttons? Thank you. Oh. I mean... Okay. Like... I get what they were going for. I still think my answer might have been better because it had specific time frames in it. But I'm not gonna say this was wrong. I just think my answer was better. But Kinji, that's wrong. Your rebuttal is full of contradictions. Is it, Mieda? Why is that? All of you were in the dormitory at nighttime, and attacking Kinjo, Makaru, and me would not have been possible for Inori at all. As you say, Inori killed Yamaguchi, attacked Makaru, Kinjo, and you, finished all the work, including the blood transfusion packs, and finally went to the science lab to prepare to commit suicide, right? Yes, and no one saw it, which means you can't deny Inori's crime. There's no means, am I correct? No, they saw it. The reason Inori can't be the culprit is because someone saw it. What? Akane, you must have been around that time, right? By the science room, just before nighttime yesterday. You said the door didn't open. Huh? Oh, yes, the door didn't open. Oh, okay, okay. Alright, game, I'll give you a little bit more, because if we're focusing on the fact the door didn't open, then yes, the statement she went to the science lab is more contradictory because she couldn't have gotten in the door. That does make a little more sense. I was more focused on the times that were stated, but I understand. It's weird, right? According to Yohara's words, Inori, at that time, after moving Yamaguchi's corpse and attacking Kinjo and the other steps, you needed to be prepared, but why didn't the science lab door open? That's right. The answer will come out eventually, because Inori was already tied up in the science lab at that time. Oh, but of course, it'd be impossible to open the door from outside if you wanted to go through the entrance. If Inori was committing a crime from outside at the time, but the science lab was already locked, it would be a huge contradiction. Wait a minute. Oh, it's definitely him. If it was gonna be someone else, we probably would have pivoted by now. So, unless we pivot real soon, I think Kinji might be cooked. Man, okay. I'm not happy about this. Not my goat. What do you think, Kinji? Can you still say Inori could have committed the crime? Wait and listen. Just because the science lab was locked doesn't mean it was locked with a latch. When Akane tried to enter, the door could have been locked with the lock function attached to the door itself. Oh my, but what about this? As a result of my investigation, I found out the door to the science lab did not have a lock function. There was no space to apply a key lock in the first place. Man. It's all over, Kinji Uehara. No further rebuttal is possible. Now confess in good faith. Uehara, please, stop and admit it already. Is he gonna crash out? Huh? Oh, he is crashing out. Uehara? Why? Why are you... I thought I was lucky that I defeated Tsurugi Kinjo and Makaru Rei, but why? Why can trash without a talent like you drive me to this point? Well, we're cooked. He admitted he did it. Oh, it's so over. Uehara, you know, your character collapsed.
Uehara, calm down a little.
Shut up, you bitches! This trash. This bitch broke down my plan simply because you tried to open the damn door to the science lab.
Ugh!
It's all over. I just heard you loud and clear. Doesn't matter if it's a confession, right? So, you came down in the end from mental breakdown. It's pathetic. Shut up. Shut it. Shut up! I'm still here. Wait and see that you... Yes, that's it. That's it. I still need proof. There's no evidence. If I'm the culprit, show me the evidence. Come on now. You're the only one that doesn't have an alibi, right? Shut up, you X-worth bastard. Do you want to get stuck in the ground from head to toe? Huh? Hand over mouth. I mean... I know he's, like, crashing out and evil, but the disheveled sprite kinda... Anyway. Yeah, why'd you suddenly turn into such a vile criminal? Not like a criminal, but he is a criminal. So you won't admit it even though you're the only one who could do this?
Just ignore him and vote, will ya? If you look at what Uehara just said, what's the point of incapacitating Kinjo and Makaru? And this is almost like a confession, right?
I'll kill you! I'm gonna kill the bastards who are gonna vote right now, treating me as a criminal without evidence at all, and you're like thinking this is all done?
What do we do?
Uehara, if I show you the evidence, are you finally gonna admit it? Oh, I'll admit it. If there's evidence like that. Not speculative remarks of alibi blanks. Real physical evidence, you bastard! There might be. I don't know what Yuki's cooking, but sure. What? Mieda, you know this, but it's only gonna be slower if we let him catch the holes with poor evidence. Unfortunately, I can't help you there, because I have nothing more to come up with. Will you be okay? Yes, it's okay, Kinji. Who is not sane, it's just gonna forcefully scream against the opponent. I'll be sure to present the proof correctly, and then you'll finally admit it. Is this like bullet time battle moment? Don't joke around, Yuki Mieda. You're just a lucky, incompetent human being! Uehara, from now on, I'll show you conclusive evidence that you are the culprit of this case. It might be a little sloppy, but if my predictions are correct, you'll have no other choice but to admit it. Man. Is this fun for you? Do it then! Do whatever you want! If it's evidence or unreasonableness, I'll make you a criminal and execute you myself for making fun of an innocent person. I have to sneeze, hold on. Hold on, is it gonna pass or am I gonna sneeze? Okay, it passed. Uehara is certainly not sane right now, and about the evidence, I can't say for sure, but I do believe, not only in me, but I believe in my friends too. Dog, your friends haven't done anything. Kinjo is like the only person who has contributed in a meaningful way to this trial, but go off, I guess. Yeah, I know how to do this. Let's exorcise this devil. Dang! They're so mean to my boy, and for what? Fuck. I like that the little symbols change with each, Oh fuck. Oh my god, I'm out of bullets. Ah! I forgot I have to reload. Oh my gosh. No, I'm choking! Wait, I can't fail. Okay. Okay, reload. No! Come on. No! No! Oh! This is impossible! Okay, hold on. I gotta adjust my stance. He was going so fast! Okay. I gotta sit up straight. I gotta put my hands on the keyboard. Okay. I cannot lose right now. I'm not gonna let it happen. Oh. How could I possibly have gotten there? Come on. No. Reload. Okay. Makaru's last trump card. Go! Okay. Woo! Oh my god, my hands are like sweating. Why was that so hard? How am I gonna make it through the next ones? Oh, okay, I need a second. That was tough. Yohara, unfortunately for you, there's already clear evidence of your crime. You can only be said to be the culprit with this conclusive physical evidence. What? Okay, but like, she should have led with that. It is pretty contrived that she was just like, I'm not gonna say anything until I need to. Like, if you could just end the trial in 5 minutes, I still think she should have done it, but there's nothing like that.
What is that? Mieda-kun.
That's, unfortunately, I don't know. Huh? Stop joking around. However, Makaru knows. Makaru? Hold on. Where does this confirmation come from? You aren't trying to rely on my reasoning, are you? Makaru told you, didn't you? No matter what happens, you have an insurance to cover your life. When the aspect of the trial remains unsolved and there's a coroner with no answer, he'll show us the last piece of evidence.
Insurance?
Maybe there's something only that woman knows. It's a little frustrating, but I know this isn't the time. I'll stay out of this. Wait a minute. I did in fact say that to Incompetent, but it's not like that. The killer is already cornered and running crazy, right? What makes you think I'm going to let you know? This woman doesn't even want to cooperate in this situation? Look at us, Makaru. We're believing in you. So, are you finished then? It's over. After all, Mieda's just bluffing and throwing unfounded accusations. Your proof is Makaru that doesn't even want to cooperate. That's just great. She knows nothing. There's no physical evidence I'm the culprit. Me? not know anything.
Huh? Makaru, are you angry?
That nasty pig killer. Where do you want your funeral? Can you tell me? Are you gonna try provocation at this stage? Fine. I'll write your will then. It doesn't matter. But if I vote for Kinji Uehara and end the trial as it... But if I do, it feels like I'm just being beaten here. What? Whatever are you talking about? Maybe you'll remember it. When I was investigating after the incident, I asked all of you to show me your right hand. Yeah, you... Wait, to everyone?
You did, but I didn't know the meaning of it.
You did that strange act to all of us? Wait, I didn't know about this. You didn't do that to me, right? You woke up late. I didn't have a chance to do it. Well, there are some mysteries that were solved before that.
After asking for my right hand to show, she held me tight, as if wrapping my right hand. Was there something about that? I was surprised.
Yeah, she probably, like, injured their hand.
I wasn't really sure what it was.
I didn't think she was that kind of person, but what's up with that? The reason I did that was to check the back of your right hand. The reason I wrapped it with my hand was because I needed darkness. Eh? Darkness? If you're wondering what I'm talking about, why don't you all give it a try? Look at the dark side by covering the back of your right hand. Okay. It's all clear here. Even if you ask me to wrap it up, it's just the back of my hand. What do you expect to see? Well, I definitely told you to try it. Everyone. Why are you staying still, Kinji Uehara?
Uehara?
Hey, stay still, you. Let me go! Go away! Is it... what? Like, UV paint? This is the first I'm hearing about this. Hey, what the hell is on the back of your hand? I don't know! I don't know anything! Oh, please. You must know. What you have there is luminous paint. Luminous paint? I was marked by you? Don't joke around! You and I never met at the time of the crime! There wouldn't have been time to be marked like this! Oh my, why are you saying that? You definitely met with me, right? When you put me to sleep with chloroform. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. So it seems you think I'm the culprit, is that it? And even if that were the case, isn't it obvious the killer attacked you? But here you're claiming you used luminous paint in my hand just because that's your opinion?
I'm sorry, Makaru, but this isn't possible without knowing in advance you'd be attacked.
This is why you guys are so pathetic. Do you think I was prepared for anything and going about as usual every night? Prepared? You... no way. The one who put the luminous paint, it was you? That's right. Do you think I'm stupid enough that I'll trust you guys when I don't know the outcome? Before Maki Kyoka died, I was always prepared for anything. I mean, I kinda get it, but I also think she should have told someone about this, because if her theory was, oh, I'll just mark anyone who attacks me so I'll know who it is, she's operating on the assumption that when she's attacked, she'll just be knocked unconscious and not, like, killed? Because if she's killed by an attacker, then her little preparation method isn't going to do her any good because nobody except her would know to check for paint. But we'll see what she says. Well, besides the glowing paint, I'd prepared other tricks. I'm a woman and have no idea who and when someone will come at me. So I tried using glowing paint only in the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario? You're saying even if you died due to the glowing paint, we could find out who did it? Like, I get that, but then somebody besides her would have had to know to check for paint. So, did she tell anybody about that? Is that what you mean?
By the way, Makaru's selections of words just feels a little erotic.
Fortunately, I only fainted this time, but my life was in danger. Should I say I was lucky? I was trying to use luminous paint for the purpose of something else, like a dying message. But I can live like this and drive off the killer's smug face with one sentence. So, like, I'm a little confused about the practicality of it, though. Did she just have paint on her hands at all time? Or when she was being chloroformed, did she, like, coat her hand in paint and grab Kinji's hand? But, okay, I'll walk with you to this pier game. But even so, at some point I could have... You're an idiot, aren't you? If you're curious, you better think about which hand you put chloroform in my mouth. Ugh.
In other words, Makaru said the killer put his hand on her mouth, meaning you applied the glowing paint before fainting, just before you lost consciousness?
Makaru? What a scary person. But, like, we haven't gone over... Okay, I guess we did go over why he attacked Makaru. It was because they were the people who walked around at night. What do you think? Are you still gonna hit the ball, killer? Not yet! All she said is just lies, cause, I rubbed the glowing paint by myself yesterday. It has nothing to do with this now. That woman is the culprit. You just said something you don't know about with your own mouth just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. Don't joke around. I'm not the culprit. I'm not the culprit, okay? Uehara, stop it now. It's already over. Don't make me laugh. Man. This sucks. There's no one on your side already, Uehara. Speaking any more than this, it's nothing more than a futile effort. If you're still not willing to admit it, closing argument time. I'll organize the case from the beginning and make you admit it. You'll have no choice but to admit it. Man, this stinks. Okay. Blood transfusion. Yamaguchi in the locker. Okay, this was him. So he knocked out Inori, went here, attacked Yamaguchi. Yeah, I guess it's probably this one. Then he cleaned it up. Then we do the taser. He tied up Inori. Then he attacked Mikaru. Oh, so that's how he faked his wound. He used the blood transfusion packs on the back of his head. Okay. Then everyone tweaked out. Inori was electrocuted. What? Oh, I see. I don't know, I felt these two were pretty interchangeable, but okay. First, the start of the case begins when the criminal attacks Yamaguchi and Inori. I don't know why those two were targeted by the culprit. But the killer must have taken Yamaguchi by some means first. They took him to the art room and sliced Yamaguchi's neck. The time this took place was 8:40, which is also listed in the Monokuma file. However, this was not 8:40 a.m., it was at night, 8:40 p.m. In other words, the killer committed a bold crime while we were still roaming around the place. Afterward, the killer put the corpse in a locker of the art room to hide Yamaguchi's body. The culprit, who succeeded in killing Yamaguchi, immediately focused his effort on dealing with the crime scene. They opened the tarp that prevented blood from splattering, cleaned up the murder weapon used as the intake, and wiped the blood with Inori's white coat that had been removed beforehand. However, while using the tarp, a small hole was left due to the killer's mistake, and the white coat was properly erased. Thanks to this, it cleared a lot of circumstances surrounding the methods of disposal. I mean, could a white lab coat really clean up blood like that? But, okay, sure. Anyway, as the art room while Yamaguchi was killed became clean, this time they devised a trick to kill a second victim, Inori. That's right, it involves the phone and a stun gun. It was a method of electrocution by drowning in water the stun gun at a predetermined time using a vibration function. I will say, he could have just killed Yamaguchi, right? Because he knocked Inori out, but he could have just let her wake up. It's not like, unless she knew who attacked her, but presumably she didn't. So if he let Inori wake up, he could have even framed her with the coat. TLDR, if he didn't use the phone, he probably would have gotten off scot-free. But that's okay. To do this, the killer went to the science lab and first fixed Inori's whole body with tape to keep her from moving. And the water from the sink in the science lab was turned on to the maximum capacity. After a few hours in that state, the science lab was overflowing with water, like a bathhouse. There's one more thing. The killer connected the phone to the stun gun and placed it at an angle as if it were to fall from the desk, and they set the phone alarm to 8:30 a.m. When this happens, the alarm turns on the next morning and the phone makes a vibration movement in minutes. And then the phone starts to fall off, along with the stun gun because of the vibration. When everything was set in stone, the killer locked the door with a latch so no one could interfere with the tricks arranged in the lab. Wait a second! We never talked about that. How the hell did he lock the door from the inside? I thought that was kind of going to be like a major plot point, right? The locked room mystery. But how could he have locked the door from the inside with a wooden stick? I guess we just are gonna gloss over that. After everything was done, the killer probably thought most of them, including me, wouldn't come out of their private rooms, because it was nighttime, but the problem was Kinjo and Makaru went around openly at night. But like, I still don't think he needed to attack them, because even if they found the body, that doesn't incriminate him. It would only be if they saw him doing it, but he had already done it by then. I don't know. As long as they thought that the time when the crime was done in the morning and the trick that everything was set in advance is discovered, in the middle of the night, everything would be over for them. So the killer thought, to keep Kinjo and Makaru from moving until the morning after. Because even if his thought was like, oh, what if they go to the science lab and save Inori before she dies, they couldn't open the science lab. Akane went there and tried, and she just left, which I assume the other two would have done as well. But anyway, sorry, I feel like I'm overanalyzing this case a little bit. I'm not trying to be, like, nitpicky, it's just things I'm noticing. First, the killer attacked Makaru with the chloroform and brought her into the art room. They took out Yamaguchi's body that had been in the locker until then and put Makaru in instead. And then Yamaguchi's body was used as bait to lure Kinjo. The killer put Yamaguchi's corpse in the library, made some extra work to make Kinjo discover the body, then attacked Kinjo from behind in a vigilant gap. When Kinjo and Makaru were successfully disabled and no one could interfere, the killer took a breather and started on their final act. Once the morning was near, the killer went to the infirmary and packed a large number of blood transfusion packets. And spread them in Yamaguchi's body to make it look like it just died and the bleeding was fresh. Then they sprinkled a certain amount of blood on themselves to make it look like they were ambushed by the killer. In the morning after last night, of so many things happening at once, we noticed a few people were missing, so we moved to search for them in each room of the school. So, how did the blood get under Yamaguchi's body? I guess he must have put the blood there and then put Yamaguchi's body on top of it. Then, when we met with the killer, who was laying down near the stairs after we divided into 2 groups, we decided to search the 2nd and 3rd floors. And the search in the 2nd floor found the fallen Kinjo. The search on the 3rd floor found a trapped Mikaru. Afterward, when a member on the 3rd floor checked for an abnormality in the science lab and tried to open the door, the mobile phone and the stun gun hit the water at the killer's preset time. Falling? Man, this stinks. Inori didn't deserve that. Neither did Yamaguchi. Into the water, killing Inori on the spot. Soon after, we managed to open the door to the science lab. At a timing that couldn't be more ideal for the killer, Inori's body and Yamaguchi's body were found almost simultaneously. The one who did a formidable job, who killed 2 people overnight, plus injured 2 people. The identity of this heinous and cruel criminal is my goat! Why, Kinji? Why? You were so cool! It's none other than you, Kinji Uehara. Man. There's no place to run anymore, Uehara. Man. Uehara? Excellent. As Maeda said, no matter how badly it was, this was it. It seems this was my limit. What? All of a sudden he went back to normal.
What was that? He must have been acting like Katano.
That means... Did you just admit it? That you're the culprit? Yeah, I am. I am the culprit. Come on, man, at least let me still like you. Please don't have a bad motive. At least let me keep you in S tier. Yes! Mono coins! Fuck you, last trial. I didn't die once. The economy is stimulated. Everything is great. I mean, except for the fact that Kinji's about to die. Other than that. Well now, I've been watching everything. It seems it's okay to say you made a deduction at this point. This time, no matter how I play the role of judge, I'm really sad because I seem to have been too much of a deadweight. How to get rid of this anger? It's a vote time of anger. Because this happened, you also now have to vote with the switch in front of you. The result of this voting, who will become the blackened? And will your answer be the correct one or the wrong one? Now, what's it gonna be? By the way, oh, okay, never mind. Kinji dies, the economy prospers. Man. This sucks. I don't want him to go. He was so cool. Please don't be evil, Kinji. At least, like, go out like the king you are. Ah, yes. As for the results of your vote, your choice was the correct answer. The identity of the blackened who killed 2 people, Miss Inori and Yamaguchi-kun, was Kinji Uehara. Huh? What is it? Did someone thought I was gonna say those lines before voting? Uehara-kun. For the second half of the trial, we've been almost certain of it, I guess. Why did you kill them? I'm sorry. You're sorry? There's no excuse? Is that all you have to say after killing someone? Plus, killing 2 of our group. Do you know that makes you a serial killer? Actually, isn't it 3 people to be a serial killer? But I might be misremembering. Weren't you very agitated and arguing back a little bit ago, Uehara? Why'd you suddenly become so quiet? I only thought more talk would delay the inevitable. I had a reason to live and survive this trial, even if I had to do that sin.
That's right. If we found out you did the murder, you are going to die.
He already knew that the moment he was caught. No, that's not the reason I did it.
That's not it?
Your motive? Was there something else? Motive? He got murdered to get out and escape. To Mori, it was the secret note. Does this mean the original motive of all the events is also the same this time?
What is the motive this time? The thing that you desperately wanted in that video, and that you wished for.
You mean you had a wish you wanted to get by killing 2 people? Wrong. There are a few things that must correct you before that. You were right about everything. The plan and killings are correct, but I didn't mean to kill 2 people from the start. Huh? You may look at this as an excuse, but only then that person's death will become colorless, so let me speak. Mieda, your reasoning is wrong. The only person I was trying to kill was Kanata Inori. You did it in the end. It was too late and also too clumsy to plan serial killings. Your execution had a sense of improvisation. First, according to the rules of the school, serial killing would be more damning than profitable for the culprit. So what? Were you trying to kill 1 person to make your sin lighter? I mentioned this was not meant to be an excuse, but you're saying that as it is one. However, I have something to say. I'd appreciate it if you listened quietly. So I assume maybe Yamaguchi caught him, like, with Inori's unconscious body and attacked then? But Yamaguchi was attacked from behind, so I don't know, we'll find out. Funny you say such a thing. Do you think I'm gonna listen to a killer's request? Kinjo, I'm sorry, but try to be quiet. Tell him to shut up, Queen. The reason I did this murder is not very relevant to your motives, as you may have guessed, but I'll talk about that later. Inori was always in the infirmary, so she was very easy to target. This probably happened during Akane's uproar, so most of you were in the dormitory side. I took that gap and kidnapped Inori from the infirmary, moved the art room on the 3rd floor, and tried to stab Inori with the plaster weapon. However, that's when he came and threw me away. Yeah, I figured something like that. The one and only Yamaguchi, who I thought was in the dormitory side with you guys. Inori, and you... Uehara, what are you doing? Stop! What is Uehara doing? This is not the time for that. I have to take Inori and run away. Damn it! Why is she unconscious? Oh no. Before that, I have to get away from Uehara. I have to go and check where everyone is. And then he, yoinked him. I didn't want to do this. So that's how he got the head wound, like, Yamaguchi knocked him into the statue. But you forced me. I can't help it, Yamaguchi. I'm sorry. I didn't hold a grudge nor hatred to either of you. Forgive me. Keep Inori alive. It's already become irreversible. I'm sorry. I mean, he could have kept Inori alive. I guess the only reason would be if, like, Inori saw him knock her out, but... Inori... Man, this sucks. This whole chapter stinks in, like, the emotional way. That guy was a wonderful person. How many people can run without having a single thought about their own life to instead save others? Then Yamaguchi died because he witnessed it, and you were forced to kill him? Yes. Originally, Inori should have been the one to be cut to death with the weapon in the art room. However, because Yamaguchi intervened, I changed the plan in a rush. Now that I hear this, the front and back are starting to fit better. It was especially strange because of Inori Kanada's white coat wiping the blood in the art room. That couldn't be helped, right? When you killed Kakaru Yamaguchi, Kanata Inori, the person he was holding, had his blood splattered on her. That's true. Come to think of it, when Yuhara said he had a head injury, the wound was real. That wasn't acting, but being pushed by Yamaguchi. So that's the story. Anyway, you're a serial killer who killed 2 people. Okay, I have to look up how many people you have to kill to be a serial killer, because I thought it was 3. But I could be mistaken. Yeah, it is 3. Okay, sure. That remains the same no matter what you say to anyone.
But why did Yuhara-kun attempt to murder? I can't even imagine.
It's hard to explain. How should I say this? Wait, before that, can I ask something? When Akane's commotion happened, you said you kidnapped Inori. If Akane didn't have a commotion, what would you have done? I mean, you wouldn't have known that. It would have been difficult to schedule the kidnapping.
Why are you asking that so suddenly, Kurikawa? What are you trying to say?
In other words, this is what the woman said. How did you know that Akane's uproar would happen? Oh, he knew? Think about it. If you decided to kill, you would have had a plan to execute in advance. How could they calculate the timing to know that kidnapping Kanata Inori without knowing everyone would be gathered in the dormitory because of Akane's bustle? Well, I'm not sure that Akane's situation was in the first place. Yeah, that's a good point. It could just depend on his philosophy. Or maybe in Japan it's different. So after all, it was Kurikawa. You seem to have the power to pick words by its very own core. It's natural to think like Kurikawa. It would be strange to hear that. The plan looks as if it knew in advance that Akane would go and make a ruckus. The answer to that is simple. It's because I knew in advance.
Huh? How? Are you a psychotherapist? You knew Akane's mental state and predicted the future?
I don't think he's talking about that. Speak. I'll listen to this. It's not that big of a mystery. Someone just informed me. Akane's going to make a fuss soon. There'll be an empty frame for you.
Monokuma?
Not anyone can tell you that. You don't tell me. There's one more thing I have to apologize for doing to you guys. In particular, you, Mieda. I should apologize more than the others.
Huh?
I am...
Yeah, it was a very obvious story that the leader from the darkness gave Kinjo Yuhara intimidation and threats from the shadows that led him that chance to kill a couple of times.
Oh, what? What did you just say?
This is blimey. Why are you suddenly interrupting? Huh? Did you not hear me correctly? Then can I say it one more time? Yeah, it was obvious. It was a very obvious story that the leader from the darkness gave Kinjo Yuhara intimidation and threats from the shadows that led him the chance to kill a couple times.
Is that a translation thing? Is that saying, like, the mastermind pressured him into it, or...
Yuhara-kun.
The traitor. The traitor being revealed in Chapter 3? Okay. I suppose. A bit unconventional, but I'm here for it.
Anyway, that's the end of the story, so we're done chatting. If you guys continue on and on like this, you'll be dragging again while doing reminiscing scenes or whatever.
Wait, you're the traitor, but you were blackmailed? What are you talking about? Even if I'm the traitor, I don't know much. I don't know who the mastermind is, and why the mastermind is doing this to us. However, when we first came here, Monokuma approached me and awoke me before you guys. They were holding our church's children hostage. They said they'd give me information and will release them if I do what I'm told to. I mean... okay. That's a tough situation. I get it. What in the heavens? Wait a minute. Cathedral children? Calm down and speak slowly. The cathedral I belong to, or rather, there's a facility that takes care of children who have nowhere to go. That is entirely in the hands of Monokuma. So, I was threatened under that pretext. I mean, I get it. It's a bunch of kids. Like orphan kids. Did you really fall for that kind of crap? That was all a bluff from the bear. That was not a bluff. He showed me the video, and I was shown having a conversation with the children myself. What did they ask? What were you instructed to do? Basically, I had a surveillance camera, so I was filming everything that was happening in every blind spot and send it to the mastermind, like a body cam? More importantly, if killings were happening between students enter a stalemate, I would commit a murder myself. So it's kind of like Sakura, who had her dojo held hostage, except it's a bunch of orphan children. Oh no! If I don't comply with this, they said he would murder the children instantly. I didn't have a choice. So, did you commit the murder because there was a deadlock after Ayame Hatano?
That was the motive? So this time, our motive, it was useless to everyone?
If you look at it that way, you may not be able to see anything. But Monokuma, in that time, he said, "It's time. You're instructed to move." Was the time the announcement of the motive came. In the completely soundproof private room, he showed me the children. If you killed this time, your children will be free. And if you don't get caught, you can get out from the school. A fully soundproof room. No wonder. This motive was purely to deliver the orders to Kinji Uehara.
You're so... using the lives of children to threaten Uehara-kun.
Was that unfair? Then I'll make it easy for you. Boo-hoo! This isn't a blackmail. I just gave you a choice. If Uehara-kun didn't want to kill, he could have refused. Don't mess with me. You said moments ago there were threats. Hey, that was, it was a narrative thing. Don't think too deeply. The last time was so rotten because I couldn't let those children die. You guys, I really have no face to show you. Of course, I understand to some extent this was forced upon you, but would you still have to get your hands bloody? Was it that necessary to kill? Do you think those kids want you to be a bloody murderer? Just like the kids don't want me to be a killer, I don't want the kids to lose their lives. There was only one way. It's enough with just me to fall into hell. You don't want kids to lose their lives? Then are you saying when you kill someone, you don't know, like Inori and Yamaguchi, they'll lose their lives as well? Inori and Yamaguchi also have friends, family, and you say there's some people you don't want them to die? You don't even know the details, and you're worried about the children, right? Huh. Strange, Kinjo. My logic shouldn't be any different from yours, but you're getting heated, aren't you? Tell him! Tell him off! Honestly, I'm so sick of Kinjo's shit right now. The logic of a killer is the same as mine? What are you talking about? Discard prime numbers for the majority. Isn't that what you said? I sacrificed the lives of 15 people and took the precedence over the lives of 100 cathedral children. Of course, that doesn't mean I'm allowed to commit murder. But, Kinjo, you put Makaru, Tamori, and me in danger, the one who went saying the exact same thing. Wouldn't it be necessary to reconsider your stance at least once? Kinjo? Call him out. He's a flaming hypocrite. And I know too well,
that I'm an ugly being. It won't be enough to go to the Lord's side, but it's enough to suffer, go to hell and die. But it's fine. Although I won't be able to meet those kids, because I won't be able to live, I was able to save their lives with my sacrifice. Monokuma, you kept your promise? Boo-hoo-hoo! Of course! Even though Uehara's crime was revealed and on the verge of being executed, he still murdered as I ordered him to. Since the moment you killed Yamaguchi-kun, the children have already been released. The children. They're safe, right? Oh, are you curious? So, do you want to see proof then? Video, please! This sucks! This is so sad! Winter in the dark street. Elementary school students. Oh! What? Wait, no! What? I don't want to see that! What do you mean they're all dead? I mean, I guess if we're going on the assumption that the apocalypse happened, I wouldn't call that safe, Monokuma. What the fuck? Why is this chapter so depressing? Every time I think it, like, could not get worse, it keeps getting worse. First, my goat Kinji dies. Then the freaking children are dead? Man. Hey, did you play the wrong video? Those clothes. Kana. That's Haruki. That hat was from Misuki. Uehara? Monokuma. How did this happen? You promised. Huh? Promised? Didn't I keep it? I definitely promised to release the kids. Have I ever told you I would let them be? Woohoo! This is so awful. Uehara, wake up. Scumbag. This is inhuman. How could you do this? 'Cause I'm not human, but a bear. And Uehara-kun, don't be so sad. It's been a while since they've been dead anyway. Soon, you'll meet them. Meet them? Yes, shouldn't we start soon? Execution time! I'll make you follow your kids, so be patient. Wait a minute, this is too much. I'm sorry, but I don't have much time either. I've got a busy schedule here. Now then, let's get started. I've prepared a very special punishment. No. This is awful. Why would he do this? Kinji, we're losing my goat, and all his kids are dead. This sucks. For Kinji Uehara, the ultimate priest. Then let's go with lots of energy. It's punishment time. Man, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see my goat go to the slaughter. I can only hope it's quick. But knowing... Don't crucify him. Do not crucify him. No, they wouldn't do that. Surely not. Our Father. Oh, not the Lord's Prayer. No! No, you can't do that! He doesn't deserve this.
I said I wanted it to be painless, and they're gonna do one of the most painful execution methods? Oh no! This is terrible! I hate this. Yeah, give him the Mekon treatment. Man. This sucks. This is awful. He was such a good priest. Adios and amen. Pooh-hoo-hoo. This is unfair. It's really too much. Uehara was killed. Like Higa and Hitano. Horribly executed. But Uehara didn't stay sane until the end. He couldn't protect the children because he was tricked by Monokuma. In the end, he killed Inori and Yamaguchi for nothing. With all the devastating facts, Uehara's spirit was broken. Executed, thinking and recalling until the last minute.
Kobazing, where are you going?
This thing called Monokuma. I won't be satisfied until I beat that thing. If you do that, you'll just die alone. Why don't you stay silent? Pooh-hoo-hoo! That's right. If you're angry with me, you can't help it. 'Cause it's you guys who did this, and I'm just following the rules. It's not a bad thing. You think you're so smart, Monokuma? Huh? I never intend to sympathize with a killer, but this time it seems a little different. Is he actually gonna have character development? Kinjo, for once in his fucking life, is gonna get his head out of his ass and actually look at things with nuance? We love to see it if true. Sorry, I'm like crashing out so hard. You always say, I, as the judge, should not participate in the trial. But in this case, you influenced the case itself, let alone the trial. According to Kinji Uehara, they were told that Akane would cause a commotion soon. Using that framework, Kinji Uehara was able to commit the crime with ease. This is not a motivation level or anything like that. This is enough to call you an accomplice. Huh? Is it? Really? So what are you trying to say? What am I saying? That's what this side wants to say. What the hell do you want to do to us? If the purpose was to kill us, it would have been possible to annihilate all of us already. If that's not the case, it's also strange that you try and kill us by buying a murder, like in the case of Kinji Uehara. There's no sense of purpose in your actions. What the hell are you after while making us do all of this? Hoo-hoo-hoo! Kinjo-kun, you idiot! Where in the world would a mastermind tell you its purpose, saying, yes, this is it? Well, even if I wanted to tell you, it's not worth telling you guys. What do you mean? No big deal. Just that you. What? Monokuma. Hey! Monokuma, who used to speak and act as usual, suddenly stopped moving. As if it was a ridiculous act, he stiffened on the spot. This is like what happened at the start of the trial, right? As if time had stopped. What happened? It suddenly freezed up. That's great. Let's just hit it this one time.
Please, calm down.
Oh, New World Order? Are we about to have a revelation? Guys, let's go!
Oh, where are we going? Why so suddenly, Mikako-chan?
Oh, are we gonna go to, like, the downstairs secret room in the warehouse? There's no time. I'll explain it as we go. So where are we heading? To the warehouse. Yep, I was right. I called it.
There are secret stairs in the warehouse.
But we can't go down there anyway, right? Do you want to be honeycombed by that gun?
What?
Eee! Mikako died! Ah! Korean? She seems okay, though. What happened? The machine gun didn't react at all.
I'm not sure, but I guess that means Monokuma was lying?
Why don't we do the chores later and go in already? I don't think that was a lie. The machine gun is running properly.
But it's not attacking us, right?
Hey, occult girl, you said you were gonna explain as we go. What the hell is all this? I noticed for a while before the class trial started, but I only noticed it for a second. Now I can say for certain, Monokuma had a power outage.
Power outage?
While Monokuma was shutting down, all the school's facilities stopped operating. That's why there's no problem with the machine gun here. Or like entering the bathroom of the opposite sex and other things. That sounds like paradise? Okay, Haru, not the time.
Yeah, please ignore the pervert here and continue explaining.
I've been investigating the secret stairs since I discovered it. I checked by throwing a barrel, but the machine gun reacted and responded. Wow, so it's safe because Monokuma stopped now? But what happens when Monokuma suddenly starts running? We're all together, via honeycomb.
Ha!
However, this crisis is an opportunity. We can finally check what's down here. That's fine and all, but how the hell did you know all that? You know the structure, but more than that, you know how Monokuma operates? What now? You've been so good at talking and acting so far.
Oh, we've experienced that already.
When will the staircase end? How far are we going down? We're here. What are we gonna see? Is this the 16th student? Oh, the door's open. Here it is.
Is this a dead end rather than the way out?
I thought the exit wouldn't come up so easily. Apart from that, this room seems quite interesting. A prison is in such deep underground. Is that it? Wow, you came! Oh, it's Monokuma.
Woohoo! Before anything, well done!
Monokuma! How did you move?
Well, maybe I just pretended to stop?
What the heck? Putting that away? What are you talking about?
Didn't I tell you? There was a terrifying creature trapped under the staircase.
A creature feature. Featuring the creature.
I just disposed of it a while ago. So, if it weren't for me, you guys would have been in a terrible situation at that point.
Dispose of it? There's no way. How?
Huh? I thought you guys would come here sooner or later, so I transferred it. This is not the only prison here.
I don't know what you're talking about, but in the end, you say there isn't an escape route here?
Escape? Woohoo! You guys, did you really come down here hoping for a way out? Sorry, but there's no such thing. You guys are just nuts if you think there's a way out. There's no other way other than to kill, so how about you give up on that idea?
Man.
Ah ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate it. I don't want to watch us kill each other anymore. I want to leave. Let me out of here.
No, please. Someone save me.
That's it. Become even more desperate. Woohoo!
Yeah, Monokuma. He had no choice but to helplessly be beaten by Monokuma. Among the people we had, two, and an execution, there's no choice but to be in the palm of Monokuma. And we didn't know yet. But the despair was just getting started. Man.
No, Kinji! I'm
gonna miss him so much. He was so cool. I mean, I know he didn't really do anything, but like, his vibes were immaculate. Oh, yeah, I want to save. All right. And that is where we're gonna call it for today. Kinji. That was awful. I hated that. Why would they do that to me? We lost my goat. Okay, hold on. I guess I should move back to this screen. They did him so dirty. Okay, we're going back to the tier list because I said I would do that. Am I gonna move anybody? That's the question. Hope you feel better after Kinji dying. I don't. I'm sad, actually. Thank you for asking. I don't care. He did nothing wrong. 100 orphan children? That's like the most, like, cliche thing you could give somebody. For a good motive, you know what I mean? But okay. I guess... I mean, Yamaguchi saving Inori was sweet and all, but... that was kind of the only thing he did. I guess I'm gonna at least move him up within C tier. I'm questioning if Inori... I don't know. Inori's gonna go under Ayame. Yeah, you know what? I feel good about this. I feel good about this. I wanna like Haru, but he's such a mixed bag. Like, every time he does something I like, he also, like, does something I'm like, okay, maybe we shouldn't have done that. I am a little worried for Haru's life, because other than Kinji, he's the only one who had a rebuttal showdown, which never ends well. But Weeby News would be pissed at F tier. The creator said something, him being the character he regretted. Like Haru, you mean? The handling of? Kakaroto does way too little in the trials considering he's a lawyer. I agree. Like, for the ultimate lawyer, I felt like he didn't really do anything, which is such a shame. I would have loved to see him, like, you know, take charge in the trial, because that's his whole talent. But he's gone now, so unfortunately... Oh, Kakaroto. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But yeah, man. I'm leaving Kinji in S tier. I don't care. If anything, this further solidified my decision to keep him in S tier. Because, like, orphan kids, man. I can't blame him for that. Originally, the chapter was supposed to be longer, but in the middle of making it, the computer... Okay, you know what? That makes sense. Because I felt like this chapter had enough content in it to have a trial that was as long as chapter 2's. I felt like some aspects were a little underexplained. So that does make sense in context. Man, how am I supposed to go on without Kinji? My goat! This sucks. I mean, at least my A tiers are still alive. At least my best girl is still here, but... Super Danganronpa 2's Trial 3 is 6 hours? I'm sorry, no trial ever needs to be 6 hours. 6 hours! Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna cross that bridge when I come to it and not worry about it right now. God has left the server. Man, this sucks. This sucks! I mean, it was a good chapter, don't get me wrong. The trial, like, Kinji was great, but man, that sucks. Losing my fave. Can't believe they did him like that. My man did die. My only other man is Tsurugi, but he's like my problematic fave, you know? I go back and forth on him a lot. At least Akane's still here. Akane's my best girl. I love her so much. Oh well. I guess we'll have to see what happens in chapter 4. I'm excited though. This is quite fun. I'm having a good time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to comment on. The trial was good though, like the non-stop debates and stuff, for the most part, made a lot of sense. I didn't get as frustrated as I did with that first one on chapter 2's trial. Best boy Teruya. I don't dislike Teruya at all. He just like hasn't done much yet. I could see him moving up if he has some development, but I feel like he hasn't really done much as of yet, but he might get there. Kinji had a great character and development. I think he's been handled exceptionally well, especially considering legit. Yeah, no, I love Kinji. Like, he's still in my S tier. I don't care. I don't care. I agree. I agree. I also want Clown Girl to do stuff. Like, I like her well enough, but most of the people in C tier, my biggest issue with them is they just haven't really given me much yet, you know? So hopefully the people still alive can develop and move up a little bit. I'm still holding out hope for Makaru to have that character arc. Byakuya had his arc in chapter 4, so hopefully she will have hers soon. Otherwise she might move down on B tier, but, you know. Yeah, I feel like Yamaguchi and Inori didn't do a ton, but it's not like every victim in Danganronpa does a ton either, so make of that what you will. I'm wondering if I'm gonna have time to do this tomorrow. I'll think about it. Y'all will see by the end of the day if I have a stream scheduled or not. Byakuya's arc was so subtle. I wouldn't call it subtle. He had a whole crash out during the trial over how people's emotions can lead them to act illogically, which he just could not comprehend, and that's why that trial eluded him so much, you know? I mean, I liked it a lot, honestly. What about Akane and Kinjo? Do you see them swapping this chapter? What do you mean by swapping, exactly? But I liked them. They were good. Still, I have my favorite Pookies. So true, so true. So true indeed. Oh, in the tier list, because they're both A tier. I don't see either of them leaving A tier anytime soon, unless, like, they either get such good writing that I can bump them up to S tier, or they get massively fucked up that I move them down to B tier. I might move Akane over Kinjo, though, based on how the next chapter goes, because if Kinjo continues to lose me, I could see Akane overtaking him. So we will see. The reason Kinjo is currently on top of Akane isn't because I necessarily like him more than her, but because I think he's more interesting. Like, he's more interestingly written than her right now, but we will see. I could see them swapping. Do I think we'll meet a new character? Probably, because, like, they have that one person cut out of the class's photo, right? So I assume there's gonna be a 16th student of some sort. I don't know when they're gonna come into play, but I assume that'll happen at some point. But yeah, I have to admit I was pretty way off this chapter in terms of my predictions. I really nailed chapters 1 and 2 in terms of victims and culprits, but I was pretty off this time, I will admit. I think a little part of it was I just didn't want to think it was Kinji, but even the victims, I didn't really have either of them locked down, so I'll admit my defeat there, but maybe I'll redeem myself next chapter, who knows. Until then, though, thank you all very much for coming, and I will see you all next time for Chapter 4. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!